Hello once again, everybody, and thank you for joining us on the WRC channel. If you're enjoying these streams, please like the stream and subscribe on YouTube for all of our lovely content. I'm Kyle today, and I'm joined by Nathanael.
Hey everybody, it's going to be another great broadcast full of Yukan Fuji action.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. If there's anything like yesterday I think I saw a dealer Hanuman with a pot that has about 20,000, 4,000 points, and then in the next game there was a Yakumon.
It was an insane day.
Yesterday was incredible. I'm hoping today is going to be just as good. We'll be joined later on by Jenn, Dave, and Arthur, otherwise known as Corak, for the later games. So Nathanael and Arthur are AML A1 leaguers and amazing commentators in the American Riichi Mahjong League. Dave is one of our major sponsors and president of USPML. If you can find me, I'm only itsmechiral today. Oh, can you not hear Nathanael?
Nope. I should be here, right? I can see myself.
Okay. Hopefully I'm joined by someone. Fingers crossed. But yes, welcome. Yeah, our other sponsor for the streams, as you may have noticed, is WRC, the most prestigious and international mahjong tournament in the world, held once every 3 years, and the next one will be in Tokyo in 2025. WRC will co-host the World Riichi Online Team League, the 3-player version that's going to start next month, and Nathanael and I will be on the team together with Tips and Korak. I don't know how this happened, given things I know about Korak and Tips, but what's your opinion on 3-player? I kind of love it. But...
Oh, I do quite enjoy Sama. It is a nice breath of fresh air from playing a bunch of 4-player games, so certainly we'll be looking forward to playing in a Sama tournament.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting, because usually when I play Sama, it's against people who are not professionals. So it's going to be very interesting to see how my efficiency skills match up to the best out there. It's going to be really good. But yeah, we're still waiting here on Dave's team. So I think Dave's going to be doing his own team from USPML. I think Jen's doing her own team with professionals as well. But the USPML, the US Professional Mahjong League, is located in New York, where you can find Sparrow's Nest, a mahjong studio fully equipped with Slim Score, Ultimate, and Rex 3 order tables. There you can not only rent tables for private games, but you'll also find leagues and tournaments you participate in a regular basis. It's used as a major practice dojo even for players in N League and everyone else within a reasonable distance to Manhattan. But yes, I need to watch more N League. It happens at like 2 AM my time, but I do need to watch more of that. But we're not talking about that today. Today we are talking about the Yukan Fuji Cup Women's League. It's made of 64 teams, split into 16 groups of 4. Each group is battling the other 3 teams in their group over 10 sessions. And the top team and the top individual players advance to 2 different finals, so you can make both if you do really well. Today we'll be featuring the teams and players from Group 2 for the second time this season. We've gone long enough, we're starting to see the teams again. I see.
Yeah, I love the fact that some of these teams are super recognizable now.
In fact, I think I do recognize some of these names looking back at them. So yes. Who do we have today? We have Team Gotanda next and Kanazawa Gyarunan. I'm going to pronounce these things, I'm so sorry. But 2 different mahjong parlors that have teamed up with an alliance submitting a team to the Yukan Fuji Cup. We have Manmaru House, a real estate agent that loves to help mahjong players. I kind of love that, that's great. Ikkyu, a sweets shop. Interesting, looking at their logo, I did not expect them to be a sweet shop. Based on that, I guess it's kind of like a bowl, almost. Yeah, I can kind of see that.
It looks very traditional.
I'm sure it's lovely. And yeah, Wonderful Days Chiba is our final team today. A place to enjoy wholesome mahjong. I like the idea of wholesome mahjong.
Indeed. Like Kiko style mahjong. It's great.
Yeah. But yeah, those are our teams today. I can't wait to see how they do. But who's playing for each team? In the dealer seat for Game 1, we have Maiko Kawahara. I swear I recognise some of these players from watching the previous streams. In the south scene, we have Kanako Hikino, representing Team Wonderful Jays from JPML. In the west seat, we have Ryo Tojo. representing Team Ikkyu from JPML. And in the North Seat, we have Yuri Mikoshiba, representing Team Gotanda next. All these players are from JPML, so they might actually know each other and be regularly fighting each other. I'm curious.
Yeah,
See,
fans of M League will probably recognize Ryo Tojo from Sega Sammy Phoenix.
Team name Toxic Mahjong is a no-go. Yeah, maybe not.
I doubt we'll see that. At least not in the Yukan Fuji Cup. Maybe for a fun, homebrew league.
I could definitely see a UK or American team calling themselves "We are the most toxic players."
A team,
but not here.
Players that only dom on their hands, always snipe for.
Yeah, exactly. That would be
set Suji trap whenever you reach you.
How toxic can we be without getting completely kicked away by everyone else and just shunned by the entire community? Honestly, I think you probably shouldn't do like that, but yeah.
And that's why we have
the wholesome
Mahjong group instead. Yeah, this should be an excellent game.
Looking forward to it. Yeah, if it's anything like yesterday, we're at the sort of halfway point, right? So, how are the scores looking right now?
So, I believe there was a bit of a disparity in this group at the start of the day as they get into things here. Manmaru House was in the lead at plus 281.2. Wonderful Days Chiba was second overall with 120.2. Ikkyu at 9 points. And unfortunately, the pair Gotanda and Kanazawa Gyarunan were at negative 410. So they need a miracle here in the second half to come back. But Manmaru and Wonderful Days Chiba, those are the teams that are in the lead.
Yeah, I was saying yesterday that because we're at sort of the halfway mark now, the teams who are behind are going to be more incentivized to be making maybe a few more aggressive plays. And we definitely saw some very massive hands yesterday. So I'm wondering if we're going to be seeing something similar today. Either way, though, I love the opening for our dealer here for the essential 7 pairs hand with Dora 2, no less. I don't know. I like it. I like it with the East being the Dora indicator.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime East is Dora, then you can certainly love to see a pair of it in your hand. Interesting pair of 1-pins coming out.
So this is getting into maybe perhaps a cult mahjong, but what was your opinion on Suji Toitsu? If you've got a pair of a tile and then a single of a Suji of that tile, because we did just see the 2 get drawn and discarded when...
Oh, and it got paired up in the discards, I see. Yeah, I think it's not like I don't believe it completely, because there is a little bit something to it, in the sense that if you're holding, 4 tiles of a Suji, it's less likely that other players will be able to use that. We see an early Riichi here. Already Riichi, no man believe, but with a good weight.
Yep.
When you're holding 4 tiles, it's hard for other players to complete the hand, so it's more likely that you complete your hand, right? And so maybe more Chitoi hands complete when you've got those Suji Toitsu pairs. Suji Toitsu. But I think it is not necessarily indicate that...
I think it's incredibly occult. Yes, I don't think it's necessarily... It is definitely a fun thing to believe, though. But yeah, I do understand. Yeah, that's fair.
Oh, the Riichi player has to cut the Dora out.
That actually does give other players a chance now if they want to try and salvage this. It's a bit hard, though, for the dealer after cutting that 9 of Manzu. So yeah, I'm wondering. Obviously, I was talking about how players would be more inclined to attack, and Mikoshiba is the player in last, so she has the most sort of motivation for her team to attack.
Absolutely.
But perhaps if you're in head, maybe you just want to take this one easy. You don't have to get super aggressive straight away.
And yeah, really hoping for some Uda here. Riichi Tsumo, hit an Uda or 2, and that'll be your value.
Really, yeah, I think it's good to take the Riichis like that, but yeah, you are right. The value is not ideal, but I still think you shouldn't be afraid to reach when you got a good weight, right?
Right,
Especially if you're the first person.
Yeah, first round, East 1, you're the first person to Riichi, apply the pressure. It's so close to Sanchoku's, which makes me it makes me dream a little bit, but and we can see from the discards that the 5-mon would not have been drawn, and so there is no avenue for Sanchoku.
Exactly. Do you think, though, we are seeing Hikino approach a Tenpai of some kind? Whether she'll be willing to push the 5 to get there, I'm not sure, but...
Just as, the rest of the table needs to fight. I mean, so does Chiba. Given the fact that they're in second place, you still need to be first place overall, so... And
yeah, exactly.
For the viewers, of course, the starting totals can be seen on the screen. You can see that plus 289 for Team Manmaru.
Yep, the yellow number is going to be the score that will apply to them if the game were to end right now.
Right.
So yes, I mean, in fact, because it deducts that Riichi stick, we have a joint first place, unfortunately. But it's still plenty early enough for other things to happen. But welcome. Yeah, I do think this is going to be 3 players folding. There might be a situation where the reach alone is worth more to Mikoshiba than the actual hand will be.
Yeah,
assuming that everyone else folds and we have every player playing 1,000 points.
Certainly, picking up net 2,000 points is better than simply winning 1,300. Depending on Uda and Sumo and things like that.
That's absolutely true. Yeah, if she is going to win this, it was going to be through Sumo. I just do not see anyone cutting 3 or 6 here. Oh, there's another 6.
Oh, fight for Tenpai here. And with Adora being discarded, it's not necessarily that hard to imagine someone taking that risk.
I mean, yeah, it's definitely worth. Assuming that you manage to make it pass, it's worth 3,000 points to you, right? Wait, no, it's the difference between minus 1,000 and plus 1,200. So
Tenpai will be
2,500 points. Yeah, it adds up, and that's what we're going to be seeing. 2 players Tenpai. The dealer is not, so we will be moving on, but a very good start for 2 players here.
Yeah, Tojo gets a little bit of a boost there, not having declared Riichi, so we'll net the full 1,500 points. Mikoshiba's Riichi stick is still in the middle of the table to be collected, perhaps by our new dealer, Hikino.
Yeah, I always find it. I get attached to my own Riichi sticks sometimes. Have you ever noticed that?
I agree. You throw that Riichi stick out there, it goes to Ryukyoku, it goes to the draw, and the next round over, I'm just hyper aggressive, trying to get my stick back.
That's my stick. I want it back. Yeah, exactly.
Well, she's got a reasonable hype to try to pull it in, especially if she can connect something to that 4 Pandora. His hand looking a little bit awkward. A couple penchant shaped in the Sozu. Really liking Tojo's hand in Mikoshiba as well. Has a reasonable set of tiles. This is pretty advanced for Kawahara as well. It's just, once again, question of what the value will be outside of just Riichi.
But then I suppose it's less. You have to worry about just Reach less now, like because there is actually 1,000 points on the pot, right? So I know it does. I know it's only a little bit, but it almost, if you're afraid, just Reach your hand doubles your value, right?
Yeah, I think it's definitely really important to always be considerate of the sticks that are in the middle of the table. Sometimes it's easy to forget. But especially as those start to accumulate, you go have a couple drawn hands, a couple players declaring Riichi not getting there, and all of a sudden those sticks become worth more than playing slowly and building the value in the hand. Rather just play quickly and collect the value that's already sitting on the table.
Yeah, Mikoshiba's here switching to Simple's partly because she's got 2 Dora.
Yeah, that second 4-pin draw, the perfect tile.
But yeah, I think the last game I managed to commentate on this channel was, I think we had a 4 Riichi stick, 7 Honba situation.
Oh, that's just
incredible. Because everyone reached. There were so many times where everyone just folded or no one managed to win. It's kind of crazy. But yes. But yeah, as you say, it is significant. But yes.
Ishantan here. Is there reason to cut this 6-pin? No, we'll just
No,
continue
I don't
playing
think so.
board. Also, maybe some consideration to cut the 7-mon as well. Just get that tile out of there. We're starting to enter the second row, and so players should be getting close to Tenpai. Oh, that's a nice Jiankan upgrade. Going from 4-6 to 4-6-8.
Oh, well, that makes things very interesting. That's Tempai, I believe,
Riichi
but no
Slam.
reach.
Oh, no, not.
Oh, no, I
Yes,
missed
it
it. There it
is.
is. Yep, exactly.
Such a smooth motion. And Chi here for Tateniu Tenpai, Tateniu Dora 1. Dealer taking this challenge.
I think that's incredibly reasonable, honestly.
And we'll get
As
the
long
win.
as you aren't the one who ends up dealing in to. Actually, yeah, then she takes the win, in fact. There we go.
2,900. It was 6-8 Kanchan versus 6-8 Kanchan. One in the Manzu, one in the Pinzu. And the nice thing for the dealer is she was waiting on the 7-mon, which was the Riichi tile, I believe. And so it was safe to the Riichi. Other players might drop it. It turns out the Riichi player just drew it themselves and dealt it right in. So small hit for Tojo, but she had, a little bit of a boost from that first round, getting those Tenpai payments early, and so she'll be able to afford this and still be relatively close.
Yeah, I think generally it's good to not necessarily worry about the gaps as well. Not worry about the position while the gap between you and first place is less than the Mangan, right? So Tojo
Absolutely.
being only about like 8,500, 8,400, right? So it's not that bad. Yeah, you can easily come make that back in one hand. So I would not be be disappointed that I didn't manage to win that, but I wouldn't be upset. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, and you know what? The dealer won the hand, so that means they get to play another hand, and that's just another hand for you to make up those points.
Exactly. Yeah.
9-mon Dora, Terminal Dora, a little tricky. We can see Tojo holding on to that 9-mon. Similarly, Mikoshiba. I mean, you got that 4-5-6. Usually the 9-mon not terribly helpful until you draw the 7-mon. Even the 8-mon isn't a draw that you're usually happy with, unless the 9 is Dora, and so we're going to see the players greed that Dora for as long as possible. Finally, Tojo's going to give it up,
This is it.
and
Yeah.
not quite followed, instead holding the safe south.
I think honestly it depends on how advanced your own hand is, right? Because once cut Dora still means that there's two out there for you to find. So if your hand's not quite as good, then I think it's absolutely fine to keep it just that little bit longer.
Now, because Tojo's hand is very advanced, so has less reason to hold on to a lone Dora. Some players really like to just hold on to that Dora for a possible pair up as long as possible. Are you one of those players? Do you greed the Dora?
I think I go through phases, but I think I'm settling more on yes, I do in fact keep the Dora as long as I can. I think the main thing is that I don't like to be the person to discard it and then have it either deal in or be called really late into the hand, right? So
Yeah, I'm thinking
I don't
like
think I'm ever the first person to discard Dora.
your Pinhu Ishanten. You go over sequences, you have all your blocks. Do you hold the Dora or do you hold a safe tile?
Hmm.
Because if you
I
pair
guess
up
it
the
depends
Dora,
on.
that could be your pair in the hand, and all of a sudden you've got, two Dora, that's a lot of value. But if you hold it too late, you could be,
You'd
someone
be
could
forced to
reach
go
you
out
and you
bigger
might
from the
be
hand.
in
Yeah.
trouble.
So we had a Mikoshiba
Mm-hmm.
hold off on reach there. I don't think necessarily it was the greatest idea, but it would pay off in a huge way, drawing Pinfu. But yes, as far as the door is concerned, I think I try and like I will tend to hold the door more often than not. But I also think it depends on things like how tiles around that door have been played, or whether I think anyone could be needing it. Because oftentimes, like you will see no tiles around them. Let's say it's 9-man, and you see no 7s, you see no 8s, you see no other 9s,
Mm.
and maybe then I'm like, okay, I'm never playing this door. I'm not taking any risks. It also depends on the value of my hand as well, because if my hand is one hand, I'm going to be keeping the Dora because I don't mind folding. If I've got a Mangan, then I don't care. I'm taking that risk. It's worth it, right?
Now we saw
But
the
yeah,
Hikino chase as dealer and reward.
yeah. If anything else, if nothing else, Mikoshiba has to sort of be a little bit more aggressive, I think, given the team score, unfortunately. But it does make for some interesting pushes, and it pays off sometimes. Well, it doesn't pay off this time, but it might pay off in the future. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, certainly, again, taking the first Riichi is a very standard thing for her to do here, and got a little bit unfortunate that Hikino managed to draw immediately into Tempai with a great 6-mon draw, but certainly correct to take the fight when you can.
Also, was very interesting. It's fine. It didn't actually matter this hand, but I think we may have seen a player folding, perhaps cutting from a good shape. But yes, speaking of good shapes, I'm not really seeing much so far. Unfortunately, everyone's got a bit of work to do. This is looking a bit better though.
Yeah, door 7-mon. This is a great draw for Tojo. Last Chuso. Oh, and wow, 6 been cut from a 6-7-9 indicates a sort of outside hand. Similarly, this
It
also looks
does.
like, although it's drawn 2 Dora. 2 Dora 7-mon. You can't easily make a Chanta with.
Yeah, I'm wondering if Chanta's not the goal here.
Yeah, it certainly doesn't seem like it anymore.
Yeah, it seems very strange, but good luck. I'd love to see Yakuman again today. That'd be very exciting. But yeah,
Okay.
with our rules, we do have no draw states. So if you did draw 9 turns onwards, you cannot ask for a do-over. So maybe this is one of the situations where you see a player who's decided that they're willing to give up, but wants to dream just a little bit longer, perhaps.
Oh, this is kind of interesting. Too many pairs. Also, an extended pin shape 2 through 8 in the Pinsu doesn't want to give up the Dora either, so just goes with uh the 4-mon discard. Very
Yeah,
very
that is
interesting
interesting.
maneuver. And we saw the
You know,
9 pin
I
come
think
out.
it's really interesting that the 4 is still in the hand, right? Because after discarding the 3, you've pretty much given up on anything around that 3. I'd argue. I would want to get rid of that 4 as soon as possible. Unless it's to try and give off an impression that the 4 is needed.
Hmm.
When we eventually discard it later on. I think this
Oh,
is interesting. Oh,
well.
this Chanta is building up quite nicely, though. 7 being Dora, though, does make it awkward, right?
Yeah, I mean, she did hold on to the door just in case you draw another 8-mon and 9-mon. That's certainly a route to go. You can cut one of the pairs. Right now we're overpaired almost. It'll be an Ishantan for Tojo.
I'm
And
actually still really impressed how that hand eventually shaped up. Okay, the Dora does eventually go.
just
Okay.
efficient to do that now that you've drawn the 2-mon, accepts the 3-mon. Oh, and there's second door. All right, we'll just swap off the 5 so pair, and now we have amazing shapes for our Ishantan.
You know, I wasn't expecting that particular hand to end up turning into potentially 7 pairs half flush, but I'm very excited to see it.
So it's back. That's the moment you regret. You're like, maybe I shouldn't
Yeah.
cut the gem, and who knows? Dora Shabo, that's not a bad weight. Yeah, throw that 5 so right back out and hope to draw something better. Well, that's technically better.
Yeah, it's marginally an improvement. I mean, the plus side, I suppose, is because we've cut all 3 of the because we cut so many of the 5s, we now at least know that someone probably doesn't have 5. We also probably know that people are going for an outside hand based on the number of inside tiles we've seen discarded by everybody here.
So this is a funny shape with the 8776
Yeah.
and the 2334 wing type of shape, except so many tiles into Tempai.
Okay,
So
this is going to
reach.
be a cool 4 tempo here. Waiting on the southern one mark.
It's an outside
Chat.
hand.
Yeah, the half outside hand with I I don't necessarily I don't think necessarily it's worth going for, but this is tempo as well.
Can we
I
fight?
guess it's worth calling for it this late in the hand
Yeah.
because you have to make something happen.
Reach Pink Door 2. You certainly want to fight for this, but we're so far behind. And of course, now Kawahara has to decide if she wants to take the fight too. Oh my goodness, here's another Tempai.
Okay, here's another reach. This is a lot. That's the kind of reach that I would be very scared to make, right? When you're facing two other reaches, you've got reach only.
Yeah, you can't see the Dora.
Yeah, exactly. I would be very wary, but
She's dealer, so
brave. Yeah, I'd that too.
6 of clears. ISO as well. And for 1/4 so, then I think we're on a Shabo.
Okay,
Or
there's our
Kawahara
Forso, but I don't think it's going to be played. This is the one player who's more likely to going to fold.
South
Yes, so we see.
Wenlong.
Speaking of folding, okay. So only two players left in,
Tsumo.
and we see it.
To Uraba, Riichi, Tsumo, Pink, Dora Dora. And that is a Mangan for Tojo collecting those points back. You know, we talked about this. Pay off the 2,900, but that gives another round for you to win. Tojo collects.
Exactly.
Impressed with
And yeah, it actually puts her back in the lead, right? Yeah, it does.
Indeed. Yeah. I'm impressed with Kawahara pushing until she drew the deal tile.
Yeah, honestly, I think that's very reasonable. It takes a lot of bravery to sometimes think, oh, there's a good chance this deal's in, and you know what? I'm not going to play it. I think that takes bravery. I don't know. Sometimes the
Yeah, I always
think it's the other way
enjoy
around, right?
watching the players. I mean, it's one thing for a player to just fold. It was another for a player to fight until the deal and tile is drawn. Like, how do they know that one was the deal and tile, as opposed to all the other tiles that you pushed? And
yes,
certainly
yeah.
there are ways to evaluate the safety of one tile versus another, but those players seem to always stop on the perfect tile, and I love to see it. I love to see it.
Yeah, that is awesome to see for sure. But yeah, I think it's oftentimes. I feel like. I mean, I feel like I fold too early. I actually don't know. I'd have to check. But sometimes just get an instinct, you know. When you look at a tone, like, hello.
Yeah, maybe not you. I'll push most things, just not you.
Yeah, you stay.
Maybe I'll fit you in my hand somehow. We'll just work around.
Exactly. That's definitely something you can try and aim to do, right? When you draw a tile you don't like, just don't discard it. Just make it work somehow.
Ooh, more Pinzu. Kawahara, the shapes are pretty good in the Pinzu to extend towards a Chinitsu. I know it's a bit of a long shot to say that here, but it's only 3 Manzu. And you've got so many
honestly
pairs.
I don't think it's going to be too bad to cut the 6 and then just see what happens. Maybe you could find a way to justify cutting the 2 4s as well. But there is a reach now, waiting on the 3. So the 4 being close to the deal and tile.
Yeah, this is big pressure. That's the dealer Riichi.
Yeah.
All it takes is one door in that hand. Oh, Ippatsumo!
Well, all it takes is one Dora. Did we flip one? We did not.
Ippatsumo does have the original door, though, as well. And that's going to be 4,000 all.
Okay.
Who said Penchan was a bad shape? Edge weight sometimes just pays dividends. And you can feel a lot more comfortable taking that Riichi as the dealer when you know players are less likely to fight against you.
Yeah. The other counterpoint from that is, of course, if you're the dealer, by folding it or not taking it, you actually stand to lose more because of the sumo loss. And so yeah, if you work out the numbers, I think it's like what, minus 1,300 if you're non-dealer, minus 1,800 if you're a dealer, or something like that.
Yeah, and especially
not a lot.
If you end up on a Penchan shape like that, the edge weight, there's no way to immediately improve that unless you think drawing to a Shabo is okay. So you might as well just take the Riichi, exactly. Or if you break, you're just giving other players time to find a Tenpai and beat you out. So just slam the Riichi. Even without a door, I think she would have taken it.
So yeah, Ryo Tojo is the new dealer. She's currently in 28th place with a score of plus 88, so this will be a huge win for her. From Akita, recently released from the M League Sega Sammy team, Sega Sammy Phoenix. It's been that other thing for 11 years. And apparently, I do love this story. She learned mahjong on a computer game of her dad's. You
The
know, that's a good way to learn.
the sort of how you got into mahjong, I think, is such an interesting question. A lot of people have very interesting stories.
Hmm. I've learned a lot about people in commentary asking that question, I think. But yes.
Going to the table, I saw Hikino with a couple Dora. She drew the 3-mon as well, which could be one of those doors falling away, but I imagine she's
Yeah,
going to try to
exactly.
use that for as long as she can, the extra Dora.
Yeah, we'll see. I do think that a lot of players could use this door, so it could be a potential pitfall if it's kept too long and you decide to discard it, but we'll see.
Yeah, when we get back around to it, Kawahara has an interesting decision to make in the future as well. With overlapping Mon shape, 3, 4, 6, 7 Mon, and this complex So shape, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It has too many sequence shapes, too many diamond, and those double-sided shapes, one of them's going to have to go. A lot of times you're going to cut from the Monzu because it overlaps the acceptance of the 5 Mon. She also has a chance at 5, 6, 7 Sanchoku, so a lot of times you'll just cut away from the 3, 4 Mon. The problem is the 2 Mon is the Dora, so I'm really curious to see which route she angles for.
Yeah, I was going to ask about Mikoshiba's 224466 shape here.
It's an
But having
interesting
drawn the
shape
5,
because you can get Ipeko on the 3 Mon draw or the 5 Mon draw. Just do the 5.
yeah, we've drawn 1 5, so there's definitely a chance of that happening, which is amazing. But yeah, it always feels weird because it's 2 specific tiles and you need 2 of them. You need 2 5s or 2 3s there. It feels hard to make, but
Hmm.
with that first 5, suddenly everything's a lot nicer for sure.
I always wonder if this is a thing, with the 5 Mon being Suji to the 2 Mon. Do you expect it to come out sometimes as someone with a 2, 3, 4, 5 shape cuts the 5 instead of the 2 because the 2 is Dora? Or
I
maybe
think that's actually
they've
I
got
think
a
that's pretty reasonable. It depends on the phase of the hand, right? Like, I
right.
think late in the hand, I don't expect it to ever come out, but earlier on, I could definitely see that happening. Later on, though, maybe I'm just a bit of a paranoid player. I don't know, but I would be very scared about stealing into someone who's waiting on the Suji and the 5 at the same time.
By the way, since I brought it up, I feel like I need to complete the resolution here. Kawahara did draw the 7 Mon, and so was able to use that as the pair in the hand. The 1 So is going to be a safe tile to discard later. So that's another way for this to go. I was going to bring up the headless aspect of that hand as well, and that's how it ended up panning out. Call here for Mikoshiba, waiting for the 5 Mon, Tanyo 2.
Yeah, I'm seeing also the potential Itsu here, which I'm very excited about. But gee, if we look at the 1 pins, they've been at least 2 discarded from everyone, so the odds of that completely quite low. But yeah, a lot of players with a lot of valuable hands. Oh, there's the 1 pin. We can see this get called. I think we are. There we go. So 2 players Tenpai now.
Yeah, the 2 players with Dora 2 opening their hands, unsurprisingly.
Yeah, of course. Why not when you've got that much value? Although I will say, unfortunately for 1 player, the Dora are hidden. So we have Hikino waiting just on the north. There is that north there, but I don't see it coming out just yet. Live, right? No one's played any norths at this point.
And that Tojo recognizes this and knows she's way out of position in his hand. Wilt would not even drop the pay here. North is
exactly
unseen, and with a call of like 1, 2, 3 pin, you're a little bit concerned that maybe they've got a flush going, or maybe it's an outside hand, something that the north wind could deal into.
Exactly, yeah.
And of course, Hikino is in the north seat as well, so that's just Yakuhai for her.
Yeah.
Also consideration.
So as far as I can tell, it is 1 tile versus. I actually didn't count the 5 mons, but I think they haven't been discarded by anyone. It's actually not too bad a wait. Oh, there we go. Okay, so 1 versus 1 for our 2 Tenpai players, and that is a 3, I think. Yeah, it's a 3, but a chance to change weight.
You incorporate 1 more Dora acceptance to the hand. Oh, there's the 5. That is Tempai. Do you cut the 7 mod or one of these pin tiles? 6 pin.
I think at this point you don't necessarily worry about your win rate as much as just making sure your tempo is in the hand.
Right, she played the
So-
Nakasuji 6.
Exactly. So 3 players getting 1,000 points. Might not be worth the Dora 2 that you might have been hoping for, but it's still pretty good.
And that's taken directly from the leader, the point leader, so that makes the rest of the players feel a little bit better chance of getting first, and in this league, first is very important.
Yes, exactly.
The Oka definitely collecting a lot of points, bonus points for your team for getting first, also for your individual score. But Mikoshiba will be our new dealer.
An interesting start here. I don't see any Dora, but I do see Dora Acceptance. That pair of the Red Dragon would be very nice. I feel like when you're in last place, you really want to go for value, but maybe just taking the Red Dragon that gets played and accepting a cheaper hand, but at least a win that lets you continue your dealership, I think would be quite nice.
Yeah, it's really interesting because her hand keeps improving. And you want to declare Riichi if you can, if your hand keeps improving like this. Also notably, West was passed by Hikino, also Tojo with a North Yakuhai to start. So a lot of players starting with callable Yakuhai. Not taking it just yet.
Yeah, I think the dealers will be more inclined to take that, but other players will probably change their strategy if the dealer does call. But yes, the other question I suppose is, for our West player, we have 2 7-mons, but the rest of the hand is Sozu, so do we flush? Do we flush? I feel like I'd be tempted to flush there.
I'm pretty tempted to flush. Tojo with Pinzu, committal there, cutting the 4-6 shape that accepts the Dora.
Yeah, I know it's definitely sometimes considered a beginner mistake to not flush in situations like that, but we are seeing it. I think it's interesting, right? Because I think that's why the beginners say, "Oh, flushing is bad." Then intermediates, the beginners like to do it all the time. The intermediates say, "Oh, you shouldn't do it all the time; it's bad." And then when you start getting back around, so actually sometimes it's really good.
Yeah, it's definitely pretty situational. It's usually less efficient to do it, so that's why, as you learn efficiency, you want to do it less, because you're trying to incorporate that into the game. And then sometimes it's just good to do it for value reasons, or for pressure reasons, or for safety reasons sometimes, honestly. And it becomes a lot more nuanced when you choose to take it. Wow. Seems to be going well.
Tempai.
That's a Tempai.
Winning on these 3, so.
That's another pin tile.
It's definitely one of those situations where I think players will probably be quite easily able to tell that 2 people possibly are flushing here. We see one player with no pins who discards, and one player with only 1 Sozu discard really late. I'm just saying. I think maybe there's a reason why everyone's calling here. The dealer's going to call because she's in last place, obviously, but maybe.
That was interesting. Dealer was Tempai on the 7-mon, did not take it, wanted to call the Chun instead, or wanted to find a better weight first. Got the Chun call and the better weight. This wait's on Dora, but the 2 flush players can't use the Dora.
Yeah, I think that's also really interesting, right? Because if you figure out some people are doing a play like that, you can try and sort of play around them, right?
But
I think it's
unfortunately for Mikoshiba, Kawahara has been the one to draw the Dora, so
yes, I think we've seen a few Dora discarded already, haven't we? I'm mixing my hands up. But yes. Just because we see 2 in the hand does not... Oh, there's the 3, so... I was going to say, it doesn't mean necessarily that she can't still draw the remaining ones, but... This sumo does mean she can't.
Great Mongon there. Does, you get that Mongon you wish, maybe I should have Riichi for the Hane.
Yeah.
But only after Yutsumo. If it was a Roan, then you think, yes, that was a good Dama, I got my Mongon, because I tricked the players into thinking I wasn't Tempai yet.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there's always that thing in the back of your mind saying, hey, what if I flipped her a 2 here? But no, I think with a hand like that, especially a bad weight like that, if you're, I think the rule of thumb is if it's 3 hand or more, you dama. If it's a bad penchan weight like that one too,
And
that's the
interesting,
rule of thumb.
just a thought for players. Remember early in that round, she had that like most of those so tiles in her hand, and the West pair, which was her Yakuhai, and the West came out very early. Could have called that for West Honitsu, and she decided to decline that and built up a Mongon instead. So doubled the value of her hand by not opening too early for that West.
Yeah, that's a really good point, actually. Yeah, I think how close she was already Shantan at that point, right? So it
Yeah, I
was
think she
still
had a
really early.
couple of
So
non-Sozu in her hand at that time, but it was very, very very easy to shift that into a Honitsu after calling. And
yeah, I
but
do think
waiting
calling
for the
too early is
second,
definitely.
yeah, waited for the second West, and by waiting, she picked up enough so tiles that she didn't need the second West anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Nice. Yeah, definitely calling too early is something that I think we've all been guilty of at least once in our lives.
I'm a pretty open player. I call a lot, so
Okay.
but situationally, I think I definitely am on the higher side of calling, and I could definitely ease up on it.
I would like to say I'm a close player, but I think I also call too much. But at least I call with a plan, right? And I usually have at least one other backup plan,
Of
so
course,
I don't just call without a reason.
I feel like we should definitely mention the fact that that on-con, I guess not a con just yet, but that the 4 6s in Tojo's hand, those are all Dora.
Yes, indeed.
And she drew the 7 and the 8 pin.
I think it's also, the thing to keep in mind is obviously because you set a triplet and a sequence, it's pretty good. But also, I feel like you don't want to can, right? If you can, people are going to either speed up to try and win before you, or completely shut down and stop dealing useful tiles to you. I don't
Yeah.
know. It would be an amazing power play, but even if we drew the 9 pin, I don't know. Would you can't you drew the 9 pin? Or would you just cut the 9 pin?
I mean, we have Tateniu, so I don't
Hmm.
think we need to con yet. Actually, if we drew the 9 pin now, we'd be Tempai. So,
Let's just quickly check that again.
okay.
It wouldn't be Tempai, but it would be now. It would be now with that 4 pin draw. But I do believe we are Tempai now as well. So 4 pin, 4 man. The Dharma of a lifetime. Hiding Dora Thrall.
So we're here for Hanuman. 8 mon. Oh, here's that 9. So do we con?
Riichi would be very exciting, but no. Staying closed. I like it. I like it. I don't think I would. I don't think I would actually con that either.
The argument I could see for conning, depending on how many games that Team Ikkyu has, remaining, starting at 9 points, there's a lot of ground to make up. So, like, if you aim for a Baimon or something.
I guess that makes sense. Yeah, if we're playing sort of the league rather than the match, that makes a lot of sense.
But then you might get nothing out of the hand, and that feels worse than taking 8,000 points or 12,000 points if you can find that small.
Yeah, unfortunately, we do see the 2 4 pins in Kikino's hand, and at least one of the 8 mans. So there aren't many tiles left for this to win on. I just don't see them ever getting played by anyone because they are useful. And
Yeah.
also, not necessarily safe tiles. I don't think anyone's going to be playing those for safety.
So
There's the last
the
8!
last 8! And
I
that's
was
going
just
to
saying
be...
how it's a 1 tile wait, but you only need one. You only need one, right?
You do only need one, and that is going to be the Hanuman. Simultaneous Dora 4. All the Dora from the get-go. Tojo's back over 50k. You could see a huge first place right now, plus
Yeah. If the game was to
61.
end right now, she's closed in on second place by so much. Wow. I mean, we got 2 more games left today. You never know. We might see a change of position in the teams league, in the overall scores.
Yeah, and it also becomes relevant now who gets the fourth place. It's another 10 points of damage. So I wonder if we'll see any sort of play targeting Manmaru, Team Manmaru. Like if you can drop Kawahara down 2,000 points, that's not just 2,000 points that you're winning, it's 12,000 points.
Yes, exactly.
Assuming the score stay that way till the end of the game, which is a big assumption, but
we are in South 2, so we're getting near the end right now, but yeah, exactly.
Something for the players to think about as time goes on. But in a professional game like this, you really probably don't have too much time to make maneuvers like that to pass wins.
Yeah, for sure. I don't necessarily think we. Yeah, that's a really good point. Actually, I'm not sure if we. With how quickly everyone's playing, I don't think anyone would be thinking that hard about a dealing tile, but maybe. It's maybe if it's the player to your left specifically, but yeah. I feel like with how quickly people are drawing tiles this game, you don't really have time to debate whether you want to run them or not. Just take the win.
Hikino back in the dealer seat, and she's had a very good dealership in her east round. We'll see if she can pull something together here. That Chun is such a big boon to the hand because it was looking very slow.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
At least you have some calling options.
Yeah, Hikino's doing quite well in the league so far, individually. She's in 50th place, but a positive score of 41.8 in her 5 games so far. She's doing quite well. Obviously, a second's going to be good for her, for her individual score, but as you say, I think the side goal is to make sure that first place loses points. But yeah, she's been at this for a while. She's been at Mahjong for only 2 years. So, I guess it is a while depending on some players, but for others, I suppose they've been there for forever. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing if she can make good use of this last leadership of hers.
These draws have been really good. 4-so draw, the door connector for Tojo, and now the 6-pin. Has to make a decision here. What's better to cut? 1-3? Yeah. Gonna hold the 2-4-4 pin and the 1-so. Also cutting the 3-mon before the 1-mon, so not hoping to extend that 3-mon shape.
Yeah, I think that's honestly reasonable, especially when you've got 6 blocks. You can try and either make best use of what you've got, or just solidify the best 5, and you're going to get rid of a block entirely, you might just get rid of it entirely.
Some shift there, not particularly helpful for Kawahara. Oh, of course.
Of course, yeah. I mean, that is Mahjong, right?
That is Mahjong, absolutely. It wouldn't be a game of Mahjong without a backfire on a Kanchan or a Penchon.
Yeah, that's fair. Back. Speaking of the 2's coming back, the 2-pin, saying hello, but it's not needed.
Oh, going for value.
Oh, and the 3 immediately afterwards. Oh no.
Just while rubbing it in a little bit. And the 2-mon again, what do you know?
Of course.
Or 2-pin, rather. Okay, more Sozu, and this is coming together now. Still a lot of tiles for Hikino to call into Tempa, and I say call because you surely can't expect to draw all of those yourself.
I think that's a very reasonable thing to say, yeah.
Although I guess she did draw it herself last time. She had the Sozu Honitsu, maybe an affinity for the Sozu.
But the other thing is that we are at the end of row 2 now, right? So if we're talking about time left to draw it yourself, it's not quite as nice. Kanchans are the best way because of the warmth you get when you fill them. Fair.
As one of the Arvel players would say, we fill those. Just fill those. They always seem to fill their Kanchan shapes before their diamond shapes. I don't understand what secret powers they have, but
yeah, that's just some people just know how. They just have to draw the right kind. Just draw the correct tiles. Everything's fine as long as you draw the right tiles. But yeah, I do think a lot of players here are probably going to be folding at this point because they're just not quite there yet, and we're getting near the end of the hand. Might be seeing some no Yaku Tenpai calls, just because of how rough these draws have been. Unfortunately, this hand. Wait,
Riichi,
no, it's this Reach. Hang on, did I miss
yeah,
that?
Riichi being Futanyo for Mikoshiba. But now, I think really the only player that is really fighting is Hikino here. Especially with that chin draw. Yeah, just full efficiency here. Hatsu wasn't really safe, but definitely value. It's worth going for in this one.
Yeah. There are times to make a bet, but it's a good gamble. It's worth it. But still have to draw the last tiles to get to Tenpai.
There's so much acceptance here in the Sozu. Oh. 5-pin. I wish I could see the pond better.
Yeah, that's one of the sad things about the camera angles. Only being able to see
The only
2.5 players.
3-pin and 7-pin. So 5-pin, not looking that great.
But yeah. But as you say, it's knowing the exact time to fold, right? That 5-pin deal's in, so...
And we've seen it so frequently in this game. The players just stopping on the dealing tile. And it will be...
And it's always good when you see that confirmation.
Absolutely.
Good. I wasn't a fool. I did make the right decision.
Yeah, speaking of warm feelings.
Yeah, absolutely.
Happily pay out the 1,000 points.
And Hikino and Tojo are going to be very happy about that as well, because Mikoshiba getting the Tenpai payment puts Kawahara in last place.
Yeah, so situation changes a little bit here. Tojo now in the dealer seat again. Oh, that 7 of 9 so draws when you got a 4-6-8. Feels so good to pull in as your last 2 tiles.
So this shape's not complete yet. Ah, there we go.
And so Dora. Oh, paired up immediately for Mikoshiba. Lots of pairs here for Hikino. But the East is not a callable pair.
No.
Yeah, it looks rather slow. The only really exciting hand, I think, is... Oh, there's another pair. So I guess Hikino with 7 pairs is an option, and Tojo has the South pair. That could be called for a fast hand, but not really for any value, just 1,500 most likely. And then, of course, the Dora pair.
Question. So when you're a dealer, do you call for cheap hands if you're already in the lead? Or are you happy to just either not be Tenpai or win something big?
I don't mind calling for the repeat.
Okay. So I did see the South get skipped just now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she might wait for the second one. I mean, the shapes are not the worst,
shapes are
but there's
very
a couple con shots.
Yeah, true. But I do think keeping the 9 of bamboo pair there is probably in sort of anticipation of calling that last second South, perhaps having a pair left over.
Yeah, and certainly it's safer to pass on the South and just hold that potentially for safety if you need it. I mean, you don't have any of the Dora, so that means other players probably do have the Dora.
That's absolutely true. Yeah. As it turns out, a few players have 1 Dora, I think, but no one's got a pair yet or anything particularly exciting. Oh no, I'm wrong. My short-term memory today is apparently abysmal. I'm so sorry.
I think at this point we see 3 of the Dora.
Yeah, we do see 3.
But Hikino ends up shifting towards Pinzu Honitsu. We'll see that after this discard. It'll make it
It's going to be really interesting though for Mikoshiba, right? Having 2 Dora from this skill gap, if she manages to win something going into last here, could be very exciting. Absolutely. This has been a lightning fast game. Yeah. Just reply to chat. This has been a lightning fast game. We've seen... I think, honestly, players have not spent that long thinking about their discards. We've seen very quick decision-making from everybody here today. But it has been very good gameplay. Ooh. Okay, I'm actually kind of getting excited about Hikino's hand here.
Yeah, a lot of pairs, which is a little bit awkward. True. Could be amazing. Think about Honitsu with 7 pairs, but
Having said that, I think all those pairs could be resolved in sequences with the right draw. So
Yes, but if we're trying to find the fastest tempi, it definitely is the 7 pairs.
yeah, for sure.
But there comes the second south, and that one will get called into tempi.
Yeah,
And
especially this late in the hand.
that gives the Kanchan fill. Warm feelings for Mikoshiba. Slams the Riichi. Oh, but the Chuso's going to come out. It's Genbutsu to the Riichi, but it does not save from Tojo, who will take the win here.
So we go into South 3 repeat number 1 and repeat number 2 with 2 counters.
Yes.
And yeah, we were talking about the difference isn't huge, but I suppose for the team in third place, you need every single point you can get, right?
Exactly. And that's one of the reasons that in it's this team division, I want to run up my dealerships as much as I can. I want to call and give myself as many dealer turns as possible. And yeah, it is 2 counters because of the Ryukyoku to pass us into Tojo's dealership, but this is technically her second chance. And it is, she collected not only the Riichi stick for the previous round, but also the one that came out just then. So a nice little bonus to the 1,500 points, more than doubles the value of her hand.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I do think it's interesting though, from both Hikino and Tojo's perspective, because I feel like there's going to be one player you're going to try not to run from right at this point. I would be very wary of running Mikoshiba if I were Hikino or Tojo. I might even skip on them, just based on the team scores, right? Because you really want to make sure that
excuse me? Oh, I didn't even see that was Tempai. Fast
well.
Chitoi.
Sometimes Chitoi surprises you. And we move on.
It's no Riichi, no Dora in there either. But she'll take the 1,600 plus 2 Honba and move to her dealership, where she has a 6,700 point lead on Kawahara. Speaking of fast hands, we were starting to see the game get extended with dealer repeats, and Mikoshiba says no. We're gonna go to my dealership, and we're gonna.
You're giving me points now. I'm not taking a bigger loss. I'm gonna try and I wanna get out of the second third place. Honestly, do you think it's possible that because you could climb out, right?
I mean, yes. You're in your dealership. I mean, that high pie makes me feel less excited, but you never know. When your high pie is so far from being tempai, that means basically any draw is going to be better than what you have, right? So it's just constant improvements.
But yeah, hopefully this doesn't feel like pulling teeth, because Mikoshiba is a dentist.
Oh.
She's been a practicing dentist for the last year. She was also in Paris for the 10th anniversary event for WRC.
Oh, excellent.
But yeah. Although, as a single individual player, she's got a negative score after 4 games, which I guess makes sense because her team is unfortunately having a rough time. So if she can climb out of third place here and turn this minus 28 into a slight more positive, it'd be really, really nice to see.
Tojo is just trying to stop us from having 2 calls already.
I do cheer for the underdogs, perhaps too much. And it's a big ask to try and win this hand for Mikoshiba, but I would love to see it. Let's see people coming from behind, or it being close, down to the final hand.
Absolutely. Well, that's a slight improvement.
Yeah, Tojo's getting there.
So Rokutsuki around the 4, 5, 5, 6 shape and the 5 pin. Whatever connects to the 5 is going to be your tempai. Either 5. Could stick something onto it. That's a 4-so. Is this 4-so better than this 5?
Guess so, yeah. Why not? We've got a pair in the Manzu. We probably want that to be part of 2 sequences, but we've got a pair, so we could draw the 3 and make that work. But yes, I just have this horrible feeling that I also think it's really interesting how we see 2 calls, and the player who's made those calls is known in Tempai.
Yeah, that's a bit unusual for the gameplay that we've seen. Sorry, the gameplay that we've seen so far. Players not being so aggressive in calling, but now 3 calls and finally a Tempai.
Finally Tempai. Waiting on the 2-so. Again, but it does make a lot of sense though, because Tojo is more than enough in the lead. As long as she deals into anyone other than Mikoshiba, she wins. If she wins this hand, she wins. There's really no penalty for being aggressive here, I think.
Yeah, the only downside is if Hikino slams a Riichi like this.
And that's what's going to happen, yeah.
And that there's a
So
lot of value to
Kufudora
back
won.
up. About 4-pin. Yambutsu.
But yeah, as long as you don't deal into the Ipatsu, I feel like you're not going to lose first place. Obviously, you want a bigger first place if you can get it, but...
So here's the decision for Mikoshiba. If she deals into Mangan, she drops to 4th. But if it's less than a Mangan, she's fine.
Yeah, and that is the ROM.
Riichi Ipats Dora.
No Ura, thankfully, for her.
And I don't think there are any Honba either, so just the 52. And that will be just enough for Mikoshiba to take the 3rd place. Barely ekes that out. And that would be big news for the table.
So here's my question, right? Let's assume you're Hikino. Would you skip Ron on that? Because of the odds if you did flip Eridora, to then give the Team Manmaru House more points for getting 3rd instead of 4th. Would you skip Ron to try and make sure that...
Interesting. Because you really, like, if you had the option, you would just say, I don't want to see what Uda is. Thank you very much. And just take your 5,200. Because it's
the option just not flip her, that'd be fine. But because you have to.
Right. Yeah, that's an interesting one. Maybe the odds aren't good at flipping Uda because you have Namco in your hand. I don't know.
I guess you still score points from getting the hand. Especially if you did flip her, you're still getting... You're losing points relative to 1st, but you're gaining points relative to 3rd. It's tough.
Yeah, it's a really interesting spot. But I think overall, it's not that big of a difference. It's just like an extra 10 points towards 1st place. And if she wins, like flips an Uda, she goes from 52 to 8,000 points. That's an extra 2,800. So the only change is 7,800 points. I think it's close enough that if she flips Uda 3, she gets a Hanema. That's also significant. Well, also, it doubles up. Yeah. I think it's fine to just take it. I mean, you don't want, especially with Tojo open 3 times, she has to fight, and you don't want to lose your hand to Tojo's hand, right? You could, instead of getting 5,200 points or 8,000 points, you could be getting nothing, and even negative points. So I think
that's fair.
It's absolutely correct to take it.
All right. Well, fair. So for game 2, I'll be trading out with the one for Jenn, I believe. Hello, Jenn.
Hello. I may unmute button.
Oh, I hear a very quiet Jenn.
Oh, sorry. I have to be a little bit quiet. I don't know if you can turn my volume up because people are still sleeping because the games are too fast.
Oh.
Got it. We can hear you.
I've boosted you. But yeah, not to put you on the spot, but what do you think about that? Out of curiosity, the taking the Ron from 3rd place to try and, or maybe not taking the Ron from 3rd place to try and make sure 4th stays in 4th. Is it something you ever think about in a game?
Generally, in the middle of the league, I think it's not a good idea. It's maybe something more that you would think about towards the end of the league, when the places are really already decided and stuff. In general, it's just not a good idea to pass up a run when you can.
That's absolutely fair. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's still a little bit early to try and do those calculations.
Yeah, that's true. Like, it's the end of the year, so it almost feels like it's the end of the league. But that's not the case. There are several more sessions yet to go.
They're pretty much right in the middle for everybody right now.
Yeah. You can see from...
Yeah, speaking of leagues, though...
Our broadcast schedule...
You'll be hosting no leagues soon, right?
Yeah, the World Reach Online Team League is happening again. This time it's 3-player mahjong, which is something that all... professionals really love for some reason. Professionals really love 3-player. I don't know what it is, but
it's like a mahjong vacation. It's a vacation from your normal pro league 4-player. You can take a break and think about Sama instead.
and get bigger hands. And a lot of people don't like the swings in 3-player, but the World Reach Online Team League is going to be played with Ron rules, which does not have like Nukidora and stuff like that. So
you're not
I think
calling
the swings
pay.
are a bit smaller. Yeah, you can't call pay. You can't. I guess they call it kita for some
Kita,
reason,
yeah.
which is very strange to me because I never heard it called kita until some of these online clients. But it's also a much more efficiency-oriented game. If you're playing efficiency, then you're really going to win a lot of games.
Also, no red 5s in the rule set, right?
There are red 5s,
Okay.
but not like a ton. And I think there's there might be 2 each. So I guess 4 red 5s, which is a little bit more than usually. But it says Ron rules, so I'm pretty sure there's red 5s. It's not like as easy as just saying it's WRC rules and just going by that. So,
right.
Yeah, the Ron 3-player rules generally have 4 red 5s.
Okay, yeah, it'll be interesting for players. I know I'm used to playing ladder rules like Tenho ladder, which has slightly different number of red 5s, and of course you get to call to pay. And there are some clients that have sumo loss on, so sumo's a little bit worse, but I don't think Ronron has that, and so that means that it gets it's almost like a different game.
Yeah, so there's no, they call it sumo zone, but there's no sumo zone, and in this case it's just each player pays the same amount for every round, so that somebody said there's no downside of being the dealer, only upsides basically. So it'll be really fun to see how pros play. We never get a 3-player league. We do have a few tournaments, but there'll be a lot of new kind of strategies that you'll be able to see in the. And I'm really excited for the World Reach commentary team. It's going to be really fun to actually have a team to cheer on besides my own as well.
Yeah,
unfortunately, only 4 players on each team, so we couldn't all be on the same team. But
I met you once, I think, in the 4-player league. Sorry about that game, but I'm sure I'm looking forward to meeting you again. That'd be really fun.
Yeah, that's the fun thing is since we're not all on the same team, we get to play against each other.
Yeah, I'm still traumatized by that game with Chiral. I had like 3 first places in a row, 2 or 3 first places in a row, and then I sit down with Chiral and just obliterates me.
Sorry. The sad thing is, I was streaming at the time, and not only did you raid me after that game, but I just sort of had this sort of slightly guilty laughter the entire time because I was like, "Oh no, I'm so sorry."
Yeah, that was definitely on purpose.
Just feeling mildly guilty about that. Hopefully this time it'll be very balanced. We'll both get exactly the same score, and then no one will be upset. The poor third player will take a massive loss. Yeah. But no, it'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, that's not what we're talking about today. I'm going to be heading out and leaving you to game 2. But yeah, hopefully seeing a really exciting match.
I think we won't. We won't see you on stream before the holidays. So I hope you have a wonderful holiday, and I think you will see you after.
I'll be a year older by the next time we stream this.
Are you not on? We do have one more stream after Christmas, but I'm not sure what the schedule is. Who's on the schedule? Even though I made it, I didn't memorize it.
I did display the schedule earlier, so yeah. But yes, birthday next week. Yay. But yeah, anyways, I will leave you. Please enjoy the next game, and thanks for having me.
Right,
thanks so much,
thanks,
Chiral. Right, well, as we pull up the next set of players, there is one more thing that's happening very soon that is not Yukan Fuji Cup related, and that's your study session that's coming up, right?
Yeah, that's happening in 2 days. So on Sunday for most places in the world, and Monday for Japan, we're having a study session in my Discord. If you join the WRC Discord, which is in the description, then there's an announcement so you can come join my Discord. Everybody who is a member of the Discord is welcome to listen in. We have 3 players who will play against Go Saito, who's a famous VTuber and also JPML Pro. And just his commentary on his own games while playing, since he's a VTuber, is just amazing, and I'll be interpreting it live, so even if you don't understand Japanese, it's kind of a rare opportunity to understand everything that he's saying during the stream.
To play against the pro, although I guess the players have been decided, but a chance to listen to a pro's direct thoughts about how to play is a fantastic opportunity. I've been to a couple of these reviews already, these practice sessions, and I've learned something every single time, so I definitely recommend it.
Yeah, and everybody's welcome to ask questions after the game as well. So, well, it's about 3 hours long, so lots of time to get some insight and learn how to play better.
Okay, it's a very in-depth questions. Everything you could possibly want to know about the intricacies of every single cut in the hand.
It's really interesting because you see like log reviews and stuff, but we really spend like 2 hours just on one game, reviewing one game.
Completely in depth.
It's very like normal time for pro review sessions, but I think that usually if you watch on stream and stuff, it's gonna be like 20 minutes or so for one game, and we take about 6 times that amount.
That's just great. And we also have our session 2, our game 2 rather, players.
Yep, so in the east seat, we will have Shiori Machida from JPML playing for Wonderful Days Chiba. In the south seat, another JPML pro, Remi Otsuki, playing for Manmaru House. In the west seat is Megumu Aikawa, Kyokai, or NPM Nihon Professional Mahjong Association pro, playing for Ikkyu, the sweets shop. And, I
guess we'll find out.
These seats are incorrect, I'm very sorry. Our first dealer will actually be Kotori, Kajita, sorry. Playing for, she's from Saikoi, and she'll be playing for Gotanda next. And it's 2 mahjong parlors, Gyarunan from Kanazawa.
Very good.
I got the seats incorrect for these.
Well, the nice thing is that when we hop into the game, you get to see the players themselves in their appropriate seat. And let's do that. Let's hop in and see where everyone's sitting here. And the first game featured Tojo pretty much dominating with some great hands. The one that struck me the most was the one that opened with Dora 4, and she found a nice Damatsumo on the last 8-mon. In fact, there were a couple last tile wins and pulls in this game. So in game number 1, we'll see if the same will be true for game number 2.
Yeah, it's surprising because the games ended so quickly. Like, made it to the end of most of the hands, but there are not that many continuances. Wow, what a difficult hand to start out with for Machida.
At the very least, it opens with a couple honor pairs, so it's callable.
Oh yeah, the two pairs are great. The other shapes in the hand are not great, but those two.
I was going to ask, do you ever consider cutting 406, so just going for Chanta?
Yeah, it looks like Chanta, probably also considering a possible Hoitsu or half flush, depending on what comes.
Yeah, notably, cutting the 4-so first, because you could still draw the 7-so and connect to the Dora. But in this case, we get the Dragon Call, and she'll just go straight forward with the 6-so cut.
No, well, right away.
I don't think Machida's gotten a draw yet.
I think if she pairs off, if Kajita ends up pairing up the west, I think that there's a chance she'll go for a flush. Those side weights are really easy to cut.
Did you see that? It went Hatsu call, Haku call, and then immediately the Shun Jam. Do you have it? Do you have the Daisai gun? The answer was no.
I think it's, if I'm going to discard it, I better do it right now, immediately.
And the rest of the table agrees.
Yeah.
So now Shosanga, not even a possibility. That's good to have confirmed.
Yeah, it's...
Oh my.
There is the west, and that's exactly what I was talking about. She ends up discarding the 8 dot, so she's going for not only a Chanta outside hand, but also a half flush, the Hoitsu.
Yakuhai, Chanta, Honitsu. It's a dealer Mongan.
Oh, and Tenpai already. Wow.
If she draws the 9-mon, she could even transfer this into Honroto as well. Hiroto Toy Toy? Honitsu Yakuhai Yakuhai?
Crazy, and we're only in like the 5th discard of the game.
I cannot emphasize how much I'm rooting for this. Oh my goodness, the 1-mon. Well, you might as well.
And there she does it.
Is this way too obvious? Should we swap to something else? What if you drew 2-mon? Or 3-mon?
I think. Oh yeah, she started with the 1. Yeah. I mean, if she does draw the 2, it will be a better weight, but no more Honroto. It will just be Toy Toy. So I'd imagine she'd probably just stick with the 9. Discarding the 8 so early, even though it's kind of an obvious, flush. Most people are probably going to think she's waiting for something other than the 9, or probably hope that she's waiting for something other than the 9.
Yeah, and we also have a Tempai, an early Tempai, for 369 Mon with the East Onko. So in theory, we could see a head bump.
Yeah, so the head bump is always going to go to the person next in line to draw from the discarder. Which means, because you can't have 2 people rolling the same tile in these rules. So if the 9 comes out, if it comes out from Machida, it would go to Kajita first. If it came out from Otsuki, then it would go to Aikawa first.
And that's... I don't think Otsuki or Machida want to drop Mansu.
I think Otsuki's probably just going to fold here. Her hand was on the north, and there it is. Yeah. She might, hedge an all pairs hand, possibly, but that's just rolling it. She's not really trying to win at this point.
And there's that 3, and that's going to deal in... Oh, that gorgeous Toy Toy, Honitsu, Honroto, Yakuhai Yakuhai, Baimon for dealer is going to fall a little bit short.
Yeah, and either tile would have dealt in there, so there's really nothing. That's so rough. You Tempai so fast. And the 9 was not a bad way, even when you can see exactly what her hand's going to be.
And Aikawa had to be so confident at that situation, knowing that you have a Mon weight against that Mon Honitsu, but your weight is wider.
Yeah. Yeah, and your weight is obviously wider, because there's no way you can have that wide of a weight with such a short hand, with only 4 tiles in your hand.
I'm really curious what she would have done if she drew a Mon tile that was not a winner. If she would have pushed it, like say a 2-mon. Do you jam that 2-mon out there, or do you fold with something else?
I will never know, but I think so early in the game, she probably would have at least kept Tempai.
We're on to Otsuki's dealership. Machida now with the 2 pairs, 2 honor pairs. East is the Yakuhai.
Otsuki actually appeared a couple of broadcasts ago in just a random. We just included her in one of the WRC team videos, because she was in the green room, so we just said, hey, join our video. Playing for Manmaru House, which is a real estate agent. So they help mahjong pros buy houses, basically.
And that's on the YouTube channel, the WRC YouTube channel, right? That interview. So folks.
Well, it's actually not separately on the video on the channel. It's only on the broadcast. Yeah, but it was the game. I think it was the day that our team was playing. So you should watch the whole thing anyway.
A few weeks ago, yeah, check that out. The Team WRC day was in late November. But this all needs to come together. Tempai already.
Yeah, another Manzu half flush.
I think it had the East call as well, so Yakuhai, Honitsu, a lot of Fu, that triplet of South in hand as well. I think it's just waiting on the 2-mon's memory serves, and well, now it's waiting on the 3-mon and 5-mon.
Another Manzu, Hoitsu, Toi Toi, all triples.
Sanako chance. Or not, no. There's 2
Yeah,
calls. I
it's
missed
just
one of the calls. I can't remember
two
what that
on
was. Is that a pon or was that a chi? I can't see.
I think it would have been a pawn. There's a third one that I didn't see actually.
Yeah. I didn't see the call, so I assumed it was just another triplet in hand, but the call, that means sadly we can't get Sananko. Which is sad. I know we were talking about this before. Last time we were streaming together, you said I should believe in Sananko more. And then that week, I won Sananko in Armal. It was
Oh,
fantastic.
good. You listened, so that never happens. Yeah, Sanko is a great way to add value, and it means you're kind of going for Suanko more often. It feels like because Suanko is one of the great Yakuman to go for all the time.
Always Suanko every time. All right, got it. Unfortunately, I have no more
Suanko's
Armal games, so
better than
I
all
can't do
pairs.
that. But maybe for my next event, maybe for the Sama League, I'll just go for Suanko all the time.
It's even easier to go for in Sama, so
Ooh.
definitely 100% a 10 out of 10 recommend. That's what the young people say.
A couple players Ishanten here, outside of course that Onitsu. I wonder. No swap. Cutting form on there kind of signals to me that first call is a pawn, or that second call is a pawn.
Yeah.
Really valuing the toy for the Mongon, and here's the deal-in tile.
What's Remi gonna do? She has good shapes, but this gives she has kind of too many blocks. She's afraid to discard those Monzu.
We'll hold on to the deal-in tile.
Use it.
The waiting
You
game.
can see the 2 pawns in the corner when the camera's on Remi.
I was looking at it from this angle, and the camera's in the way, but
Yeah, you have to look at the camera across the table.
Yeah,
right
I can
here.
see it now. It came from across the table, so definitely a pawn.
Yeah, both of the tiles are not from the left player, so there's no cheese in there.
This is so wide for Kajita that Ishanten.
Just like
another one mon, really?
Yeah.
I worry though for Otsuki, this is Ishanten with Ipeiko. If you draw 6 mon, 9 mon, you've got Riichi, Pihu, Ipeiko. That's pretty good.
That would be Tempai.
Targeting the 7 mon, that isn't that I think one's cut and must not be in the called hand at all.
Another Tempai and Reach with an open-ended weight, so only Remi only Remi cannot do anything at this point.
Oh, but the 5.
There's a 5. Yes, it was the 2 character and the north or the east. I think it was the east.
Yes.
That
makes
were called.
sense. So Toy Honitsu East, and that's gonna be a Mangan for Machida. Collecting the Riichi sticks as well is a nice little bonus, up to 35k, and dealership passes once more.
Nice. In that situation where or 2 reaches, you basically have 3 tsumos, 3 tsumo turns.
And that's why, like, when there's a Riichi, having a bad weight, or like 2 Riichis, having a bad weight isn't necessarily such a liability anymore, because the players just can't, defend against it. They'll drop it if they draw it. The Shabo, even though it's a little bit weak there, 3 mon, 5 mon, it just comes out because they can't use it.
Yeah, and the other reach that was in there. She had 3 6 characters, which is why she reached with the 7 weight. It's just so hard to use. And I think a lot of the 8s and 9s were also visible to her.
Sweet draw for Aikawa. 2-door now.
I like Aikawa's shape on the left side of her hand too. She has triples. I always like to have a triple in the hand, even if I'm going for something like Pimfu. It's just so much. It feels so flexible. Or they're the 5 character triples, and it can switch easily to a Pimfu just by discarding one of them and making that your pair.
Agreed. I was talking with somebody about Onko discards, but yeah, this is so much. It's not as good as being able to play for Pimfus, but it's so fast.
Yeah, but the thing is, like Pimfu, it's only you know, 1 more Han, so it's 1,300 versus 2,000. It's not a massive difference. Or she deal it, but either way, it's just one. When you're going from 1 to 2 Han, it's not really that big of a difference.
Yeah, if there's extra.
Just having so many options at Tenpai.
And just hit Urasan. That's all you need.
Yeah, you can't get Urasan without an Anko. Unless someone cons. Of course. Make sure you hit the like button. We have like 4 people at least who have not hit the like button. Do that right now,
more
please.
likes equals more Ura. That is what. That's I believe how this works.
More likes, more views, more follows means that we can do more broadcasts. So
sort of indirectly, it does mean more Ura.
Yes.
But it's actually 2 away from Tenpai. I don't know if she can play for this, but you know, when you start to run out of tiles to fold with, sort of just push the hand instead.
Yeah, guys, the pair of West, and she is in the West Sea as well, but it's just not coming out for her to pawn. Oh no, that's not her in the West. Oh, I got that wrong.
Yeah,
Aikawa has a pair.
But if she, you know, as dealer with 2 Dora, you really want to fight for this, right? Oh, with 3 Dora, yeah. How about just 4 mon and go? And at this point, I think you just turn off your the defensive part of your brain and just push, right?
I mean, you want to.
Four mon, 6 mon, definitely. Our 4 mon was safe, but 6 mon, a little bit more tricky to just shove out there. And no hesitation from Aikawa.
6 dots. So Kajita's just gonna fold, so she's not gonna deal in that 6 dot anymore, or the 3 dot. But this is the hand where if Aikawa does Tenpai, there's a good chance that the 6 dot will come out and deal in to Machida.
Yeah, it's like 50-50, which tile you draw for Tenpai. We can see most of the 5s though, so it seems more likely that it'll be the 3-pin Tenpai rather than the 5-pin Tenpai.
Well, the thing is, if she draws a 3-6 bamboo to Tenpai, because she'll almost definitely choose the 3 dot weights and decide that the points are worth the risk.
Do you ever
and it's a lot
reach with a 2-pin since the 8's out and say Nakasuji is a thing?
Maybe.
But if you yourself cut the 6,
if you can read how dangerous the 2-5 is versus the 3-6. If the 2, yeah, the 8. I mean, it does make sense that it's going to be Nakasuji for both the reach player and for yourself, so it might make it a little bit more likely that it will be discarded. But, I mean, the same thing can be said if you discard the 6, the 3 is going to be Suji for both of you, so...
Right. I don't know, what do you think? I think players trust Nakasuji on the Riichi declaration tile more than straight up Suji. Oh, well... You can't do anything about it.
Yeah. I think it's more, it really depends on what rules you're playing for that as well, because if you're playing with red 5s, then the Nakasuji is always going to be more dangerous.
Yeah, that's a good point.
We don't have red fives in these rules, but
As
and also
is.
players just tend to move their hands towards the middle of the middle numbers. You end up discarding side tiles first. So if you have enough like tiles in your hands to really plan more of an outside weight, then it's gonna be easier to win probably, but most people will go to the middle, so I don't think the Nakasuji, although it might feel safer, I don't think it's necessarily safer.
Yeah, as is, it did just deal into the 1300 Richinomi. No Ura-san, unfortunately. But that will confirm a slightly larger lead for Machida, who's now our dealer.
Machida also a member of JPML. Her favorite Yaku is all pairs. I don't know where I got that information from.
So, some members of chat will be celebrating. Some not so much. All pairs. 7 pairs is tricky Yaku.
Complete a sequence for Otsuki. But she's not sure what to do. She wants to keep the 4-bam as a floater, but she just can't find somewhere else to discard it so she can keep it.
I like this. I like keeping the 4. So here, we're going to make 2, 3, 4. Everything is going to be good in the world.
It was holding onto the Dora, but it's her turn to dealer, so she goes more for efficiency, and that's why
Okay,
Otsuki wanted to keep
we're a
the
little
4.
sad, but
Yeah.
2, 3, 4 is still insane.
The only thing is if she's gonna make a 2, 3, 4, the mixed sequences, she's gonna have to find some place else to just probably end up discarding the pair of souths, I would guess.
Yeah, because then she can draw the 6 mod and get the Tateniu shift as well.
I have another possible 2, 3, 4 mixed sequences with Machida's hand. This is one away. She had 2 kind of extra tiles. Oh,
okay. Well,
discards from the middle.
Maybe that's a.
Well, she goes for the 2, 4, 6 double. I call it double gutty. The Yankan. See, this is also a possible 2, 3, 4 sequence for Kajita, but
All is not lost.
It's Kajita. It's for Machida.
Yeah, and also for Otsuki, there's also shifts down with a 3-pin draw, and Itsu is also a possibility as well. It just keeps all of those options open by holding the south pair.
She keeps the 3 dot because she doesn't have a pair, even though she wants to get the 2, 3, 4. Sanshoku, she doesn't have a pair. And Kajita will shift the 6, 7, 8 instead of the 7, 8, 9. And this is Tempai for Otsuki.
Just Lab, she does have that Suji trap, that preemptive 6-month cut earlier.
Yeah, she did not get the Sanshoku, the mixed sequences shape that she was hoping for.
But I appreciate the attempt at it.
Yeah, she just needs to. She wants some points, and she wants to get rid of Machida's dealership. The first place player as dealer is something you always want to end as quickly as possible.
Oh, but we're gonna see the perfect draw for Machida. You cannot stop this. 258, so. And
that's also Tempai.
3 Tempai. I mean,
Kajita.
You just
possible double sequence with the 6, 7, 8 bamboo.
Yeah, we're just gonna take the fight. Suddenly Otsuki is in trouble. The worst weight here of the 3 Tempais.
And one away with actually really good shapes for Aikawa as well.
Masha's like, okay, that's enough 7 pins. We've gotten them up, but the 8 still will come out. And
the best weight will prevail.
HP Dora.
That's why you want to have good weights in this game. You never know who else is going to come and reach against you.
Yeah, it's solid play, though. It seemed like all of the Riichis made sense in this spot. First Riichi with a Suji trap for Otsuki. Dealer, of course, with an excellent 3-side is going to chase that. Kajita with the Ipeko chance, the twin sequences. Worthwhile chase as well, but did draw the wrong Sozu.
Yeah, I know this is the least likely Sozu for her to draw as well.
Because she was holding a pair of those.
Hurt. Yeah, exactly. Oh, nice fill-in for Otsuki.
That's a pretty nice hand for Aikawa as well. Back to dealer, though.
Matsuda does get her second turn at dealer early. She gets a second turn at dealer.
Oh, it's nice to...
She's also a big baseball fan. She likes the Tokyo Giants and the Seibu Lions, which is also the two baseball teams that I follow in Japan.
To talk to Edwin, I know he's a big baseball fan as well.
Yeah, we went and saw the Seibu Lions together actually. And the Giants are the big team, but the Seibu Lions are the local team for me. They're just like a 20-minute drive away, so. And they have a good like a good fan club service because they're not really a big team, so they try and get people to the games.
These hands look so promising at the start, but they've kind of stalled out a bit. Draw's just not coming to the right people. Oh, that 8-pin, though. Now that is a fantastic draw. Now we...
Thanks Kajita to 1 away from ready. But her remaining shapes aren't that great.
And you want to use the 1-so door, too.
Kind of surprised that Aikawa hasn't locked in the door acceptance yet. Let's see in just a second here. She has a 2-2-3 shape, I think, or 2-3-3? 2-3-3 shape.
Just preemptively cutting the 3-so to confirm.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would discard the 3 pretty early.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You lock in the door acceptance and also one of the open-ended weights.
It also allows you to hold some other tile in your hand as to float other possibilities. Maybe she just hasn't gotten any better tile to keep around.
Maybe, but it also the earlier you discard it, the people use kind of what we call in English sotogawa.
Sort of outside to the discard. Although I guess when the tile you're looking for is Dora, that's a little less likely to matter.
A little bit, but you can still use it when people think that, when they don't have any other choice or when they're trying to decide whether to go for it or not and they just need to push one tile, then it can be useful.
Okay, 3 months. So just straightforward.
She still hangs on to it. Yeah, she's holding on.
Right now, it's acting like as the pair, but we really don't want it to be the pair. And that'll be a tempai for Kajita. Again, early tempai waiting 2-so, and she'll get chased.
Yeah, especially, I mean, now she's probably not even going to go for it at all, but with the 1 reach that, the 2 bamboo now is going to deal in, so you really don't want that 3 bam to be the pair. Otsuki waiting for the 3-6 characters is Riichi Pinfu.
Yeah, preferably the 6-mon.
Which has just come into Aikawa's hand.
And she'll back away.
Aikawa's just out, yeah.
Oh, and that 3-mon as well.
And when you hang on to the 2-3-3 shape that we've been talking about for that long, then you really just got to be ready to fold pretty much immediately. But Kajita will draw the winner. She draws her inside tile. It's just Riichi, Tsumo, and 1 Dora. So she'll get 1,000 from the non-dealers and 2,000 from the dealer.
Yeah, I think that's going back to what you're talking about with the Tuso, that is actually a valid way of thinking. Like, I'll hold this extra dangerous tile for one reason or another, but I'm willing to fold if I've held it for too long. That's an interesting approach. You could
Yeah,
preemptively
that's the
cut it
mind you have
and
to
be
have.
willing to backfire if you would have drawn the Dora, but yeah, you have to make some sacrifice, and you're just like deciding which sacrifice you're willing to make. It's an interesting way of thinking about it.
I think that's one of the things that we talk about a lot in professional study sessions. There's always more than one option. It's never this is the only discard you can make.
Hmm.
Uh, but there's always okay, you can hold on to this or you can discard this, but if this happens, then you have to be ready to fold immediately.
And then part of the decision-making process is balancing which one's more likely to happen and which one you're more willing to accept if it happens. Door North is, I guess, beneficial to Machida, as that would be her Yakuhai, but it is currently not currently missing, really. Only one in hand for her. And the other players I don't think have any.
Machi is the only player that doesn't really need to use the Dora. She's happy with just winning any hand.
Exactly. Wow, that is a fast Tenpai, and Kajita will slam another Riichi. The Riichis in this game so far haven't really been like Riichi, Tateniu, Pinfu, Sancho, Budor 2 type hands, right? They've been a lot of Riichi Nomis. Just the hands that are getting to Tenpai first aren't holding the value. We have had a couple of Riichi Pinfus, though. Oh, and the door comes out.
And that'll just make it a little bit easier for everybody else.
Yeah, instantly discarded. See 3/6 mon. I see a 3. I see a 6. Is that a 3 mon discarded or 2?
Nothing Aikawa can do. Aikawa is just completely out of this game, but that is a nice fill-in.
Somehow Ishant them?
Oh, that's
But gonna play safe. Still Ishant
yeah.
then, but
Wonder how dangerous the 9 dot is. I think that's the hand where I kind of just end up wanting to push the 9 dot and seeing what will happen.
yeah, it doesn't seem like it'll be too bad, even though it went 4-pin, 7-pin cut. You can see through the 7 pins, so like the chances that that 7 came from a 7-7-8 shape seem less likely.
Yeah, especially early in the. I mean, I guess because the 4 dot came out first and the 7 dot came out next, then it looks a little bit more suspicious, but it just seems like it was so early that it, could have just been a fluke and you can kind of go for it.
Holding back here, not taking the temp on the 8-pin. Makes sense. And I think she's willing to cut the 9-pin if she gets a good weight tempi. Like, if she draws towards the Peiko Pinfu here with a 6-mon or 8-mon, yeah, she'll take it.
So she just has so many points that she doesn't need to take the risk that I would probably stupidly take.
I think a lot of players would say, I've got a good weight. It's worth the Riichi. I feel like that's the way the like the strong AI tend to play. Is just, but maybe not in this situation because they're attuned to um, sort of like ladder perspective where you don't want to lose your first place against the Riichi. But this Tsumo finally comes through for Kajita. Riichi Tsumo. Just the 1000 all.
I like her sweater. It's festive. It's like a really December looking sweater.
Fitting for the season.
Yeah, I'll get one of those. So Kajita will be dealer once again. We'll repeat the south 1 hand.
I like the way the hand's shaped up so far. The final couple draws help a little bit, so no Dora, but could perhaps work her way towards another early Riichi.
What you were talking about with the, if you have a good weight, and a lot of, especially the AIs will also kind of slam. Generally, us non-AI brains have to think about speed, weight, and points. So if you have enough points, you're gonna often find worth it to take the risk. If you have a good weight, it will be often worth it to take the risk. And if you have speed, there is no risk at the point when you're pushing. So generally, you want to have at least 2 of those conditions fulfilled when you're gonna push a hand. If you're pushing against something else, you never have speed. So that one is just already out the window. But
yeah. In this case, it had the weight. It didn't necessarily have the value, just Pifu. I guess Riichi Pifu at that, but...
yeah, so usually you want to have like more Dora or some extra Yaku to push hard there, especially if you already have the points. You don't need to take the risk because the extra points are going to be worth less than they are to the other people.
And also, considering the situation with the totals, if the game were to end at this point, you know, Machida at 41k in first place is in a great spot, especially for her team would be at plus 185.9, so not that far behind Team Manmaru.
Yeah, that's true. They're also probably thinking they don't mind if Kajita wins a lot of hands right now. Their team is so far behind that it's not going to be a big issue if they get, you know, lots of points just in one game. But Machida definitely wants to finish ahead of Otsuki and the other way around as well.
Exactly. It's okay if they win hands. We just don't want to be the person dealing into those hands.
Hey.
I wonder at what point Kajita calls open for Tateniu.
I'm really interested in, hold on, what Aikawa is doing. I gotta get to Aikawa's hand real quick, which she just discarded a 5 out of a 3-5-7 shape right there. I think even if her hand, she just feels like it's so terrible. She's just gonna keep options open for all pairs only and not even bother with anything else, just fold anything else. So she's kind of saving up safe tiles.
That's kind of the vibe I got when I saw that cut as well. It's just maybe having the Dorohatsu, she feels like she can never cut it. And so if you can't cut it, then you just go for 7 pairs.
Yeah, and she's getting the pairs, so
Improvement of weight for Machida now from 2-pin to 3-6 pin.
I think that's one of the things that Katsumata really teaches often is when your hand is terrible, then you create a situation for Yaku, and when things fill in that Yaku, that's the only time that you start to discard dangerous tiles.
Very safe approach here. Now, will we switch to 4-7? No, just stick with the 3-6.
Yeah, it would have been nice to have the 2-5-8 weight, but she'd be pretty 10. She's already discarded the 8 dot twice, so wouldn't be able to win off discards.
Oh, well, how about that? A second Dora? Shunta now?
Yeah, that strategy really worked out for her.
Speaking of Ishanten, dealer now went away as well.
Kajita took kind of the opposite approach, just taking a more efficient route, but when the tiles don't come in, then you end up with a lot of dangerous tiles.
Consideration now for Aikawa is Toy an option that would allow her to call the Dora and her Yakuhai. No, just goes with the Tumon, backs away. Doesn't want to press against the threat of these open hands.
She's still thinking if she can pull
Mhm.
or if she gets a third Dora, then she has something to go with there. She kept the open-ended
Yeah.
2-3 dot shape.
Moving away from the Chitoi, but more towards a standard call your Yakuhai and win with your Dora. But the 3 will come out. Otsuki will nab the win there into second.
Yeah, and she had what we were talking about. So what she did, she kept the good weight, and she had the points option there. So if she had filled those in, she would have gone for it. So those were 2 of the conditions that we mentioned earlier. Really tough shapes for Machida. Kajita's hand looks much better. Remi's hand's looking pretty good. It looks pretty terrible at first, but she filled in some nice shapes.
Yeah, all the connecting tiles were in different blocks of the 4 that she drew from Hypai. So she makes her first discard really quickly, and then all of a sudden, after sorting it looks great.
Yeah, it's just Machida's hand is. She filled in something, but her hand still actually looks pretty terrible. At least compared to the other ones. It's just will not have the speed. Wow, an interesting fill-in for Otsuki, and she will keep the option open for a full straight. She might end up with the golden one away, the golden Ishanten, which we don't see very often. So we have a couple of words for that's a call. 8 bamboo will be called by Aikawa. By Machida.
Machida, yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I'm sorry, I keep getting the names wrong. The kanji is just not very clear for me. So you see this, she has an option for a 1, 2, 3 sanshoku as well. So if she pulls a 4 dot or a 5 dot, she'll have what we call the golden one away, the golden Ishanten, which is where you're one away for both a full straight and mixed sequences.
It's one of my favorite Ishantens.
Yeah, definitely my favorite. And not to be mixed up with the perfect Ishanten, perfect one away, which is a shape where you will always have an open-ended weight no matter what you tempai with. It's very easy to mix those 2 up, but
A lot of times with the golden one, you're not going to get that good weight your final shape, but that's okay because you'll be guaranteed 2 Han.
Right, they're both worth 2 Han, so
I guess it depends on the shape of your Sanchoku, but in this case, if you don't get the diamond weight, then you get the guaranteed Sanchoku.
Also, if you're learning how to play, those are the... Before looking for what tempai you want, it's good to get in the habit of looking for what Ishanten or what one-away shape you want. Can make it a little bit less overwhelming to play with all the tiles.
Something for Aikawa as well. And I keep looking to Otsuki's hand to draw something useful. That sort of works.
It's the wrong side. It was the 4 or the 5 that we wanted.
Yeah, we'll take the chance at Itsu though. Just needs to draw the right Mon tile. That's not it.
Tempai, but it's just the...
She goes to the 5 Mon. She can be 2 5-pin, but that's kind of sad.
Yeah, you're already using 3 of those yourself, and it doesn't count as a pinfu either.
Okay, she wants more from this. I really like looking at the player cams in those spots, just to see how the players approach that.
Oh yeah,
They usually give us some good facial expressions.
I'm always afraid I'm gonna miss what they discarded, so I end up afraid to look at them.
Would be Ipatsumo, she thinks. Well, she might take this. Oh, 1 pins are all gone though, so just be waiting on the 4 pin.
the biggest backfire possible, and you hate this when it happens on a broadcast table. Because everybody understands why you did it, but you're not always sure that they'll understand why you did it.
Mm-hmm. She really wanted to just draw Dora and slam that Riichi Pifu with Dora 1 and Itsu chance. There still are draws in the Monzu. It's just the 4 Mons are really being held here. I think there's 1 in Aikawa's hand and 2 in Machida's hand. If there were more 1-pin, 4-pins, you probably would have taken the Fujita Riichi.
Yeah. Just that taking that Fruity 10 when you have a shot on more points and after the backfire, it also feels pretty dangerous. And that would have been the possible Sanshoku 1 away.
Mm. Just has not been able to draw a Mon tile. Nope, another So tile.
Also,
Out it goes.
Yeah, she can't call. This is the one of the few full straight 1 away shapes that you can't call to make your full straight.
At this point, though, she might just call to beat Tepai. Another So tile draws. The wall is not cooperating. And at some point, you have to worry that somebody's holding, a pair of Dora, a triplet of Dora, and just holding a Damaton. A little bit concerned about this 5, so we'll jam it out there, and it passes. It will get called, but it does not deal in, and that's a Tenpai for Tateniu Dora 1 for Aikawa.
Everyone was really cautious about the bamboos for this hand.
Wow, Tenpai for Machida grabs that 5 Mon. And
She started out with the worst hand, but she really kind
a
of
Mon
shaped up.
tile that finally, but then when that is not
Useless.
exactly helpful.
And not exactly safe either.
Hmm.
Right there, just right around the Dora.
It could be like...
Oh, that's a straddle Suji for the Dora.
Okay, 1 Mon first. She still will probably call for Tenpai, but needs to see a lower pin tile.
Mostly just thinking about playing it safe. The Suji to the Dora is generally a bit safer than the straddle Suji to the Dora. Kajita is like, why did it not Tenpai?
Yeah, and I think she has 1 more draw left.
She just folds.
Yeah, how much do you want to risk with only 1 draw left?
No, I think nobody, there's just 1 draw left total. This is the last draw right here.
Oh, you're right. So 2 players Tenpai. And interestingly, it is coming from Kajita and Otsuki, the 2 players who were at 20,000, around 20,000 points. So that means it's a very close game now for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Machida still with the lead for 1st, but things are really tense now in terms of the lower place 3 placements.
And this is where a lot of the strategy is going to come in, and thinking of the overall scores. Kajita really needs to go for just big hands and try and get anything positive. Remi probably just wants to go for something small and stay in 2nd place as much as possible, since her team is so far ahead. Even though she'd rather finish ahead of Machida, it's going to end up being more important to just keep the positive scores at this point.
Yeah, it's nice when you have just finished a frustrating dealership to open up with a really nice high buy. Let's get probably the best chance at hitting first tenpai. Nine Sudora, I think I saw a pair. Who was it? Aikawa or Machida that had it? It's like a pair of 9 so and then a bunch of honor tiles. Looks like Machida. Yeah, that's
she's
just all
gonna
needs
go
it.
for the flush.
We've seen a lot of Sosu flushes.
Yeah, this is the chance for her to get her team really close to first place in the group.
Otsuki can do the walk down to 1, 2, 3 again.
She will take, will open her hand and going straight for the half flush with 2 Dora.
That poor mount's an interesting draw because you're overblocked, so you have to decide which sequence shape to cut. And it's annoying because it leaves you the opportunity to choose the wrong block. It's not like one is better than the other, but it can backfire, and having the possibility of backfire is always a little sad.
Here Aikawa is going to hang on to the pair. She had 2 double gut shots to the Ryankan shapes and kept the one with the pair. In a couple ways she could have taken the hand. She could have also brought the block count down by discarding the 6 bamboo.
By keeping all these pairs, she's given herself a small toy chance. Going for triplets.
Yeah, that's when you want to open your hand more, then it's better to hold on to more pairs, and when you want a concealed hand, it's generally better to keep more sequence options. Just not sure if going for an open Tanya hand is... it's just, yeah, as dealer, going for an open Tanya is great. It's a great move.
Yeah, I mean, especially when you have Machida pressing a Honitsu, you really don't want to let that finish on your dealership, so if you just try to end the hand sooner rather than later, it might be to her benefit.
And that's the reason why she kept the bamboos instead of the 2, 4, 6 character shape.
Yeah, will she cut even the 6 money?
Yeah, I would think so. Nope.
She's gonna try the 4 so, and it will get called.
Yeah, she took is a little bit more efficient, but advanced her opponent's hand, which is always a really difficult threshold for how far you want to go with that.
Yeah, it's such a tough decision, I think. You know, if you discard the tile now, then you probably are advancing their hand closer to Tenpai, and they can win off of other people more easily. But if you hold it longer, then they could get to Tenpai in the meantime, and then just win on it when you drop it. It's it's an annoying decision to have to make.
Kajita's hand is actually some really good shapes there. It looks like an all pairs hand, but she actually has really good shapes for sequences. Oh. There is Tenpai for Aikawa, the dealer, waiting for 5-8 bamboo. So you see this 1-1-3-5-5 shape, and I always bring it up when basically every stream. It's one of those shapes you want to aim for when you're getting to one away and Tenpai.
With a series of frustrating draws, no Tenpai yet. It's been in the same position since Hypai, basically. Just no progress. And the east is a tile that's hard to cut.
Remi is just her theme for this hand or for this game. This whole game is frustrating draws.
Do we stop on Chun?
Yeah, she already did move her hand back, so she wouldn't have to discard any bamboos. She had the really great Manzu shape, the character's shape, with a possible Ipeiko, but she gave it up because everybody is really on guard against this half flush right now. in Machida's hand.
Oh my, well that's the Sanchoku chance. If she gets Tenpai with a 1-so, is that worth pushing the east for? Oh, it's same decision for Aikawa, and she says, yes, I'll try it. It will call for Tenpai. But that gives Otsuki now a chance to cut the east as well.
I think that Kajita just cannot discard the red dragon here.
It's just
She
too
is
late
gonna be-
now.
Yeah, she's forced into the half flesh as well. But she's also kind of wary about the dealer's calls and the dealer's push with the east discard as well.
It's hard for dealer to have anything more than Tateniu here, though. Not an easy choice.
That's true, but as soon as she just she
Oh,
pushes
wow.
with the red.
Was it? It was cut a few turns ago.
Sanshoku Tenpai, waiting for the 9 character and the 5 dot, but the east is safe, so she's deciding whether to reach or not, and she does.
So take this challenge. A big opportunity now. Or pin would have come out of Ippatsu turn. All the 7 pins were out, so the 4 the DMM weight wasn't so good. Yeah, immediately draws the west, and that will deal into the Honitsu. I think that's Honitsu door 2, so that's a Mangon. That's a big win for Machida, who now almost hits 50,000 points and gets her dealership.
And now her team is only 4 points away from first place for the group. This has been the best situation for her team. I know Kawahara also on the Manmaru House team had a really rough first game. It's just a testament to how big the swings can be in just one session, just 3 games with these rules.
Absolutely. Still one more hand to get through. A lot to play for in this hand. And of course, even after this, there will be one more game for this session. Another reasonable start for Otsuki.
In this situation as Machida, the last dealer, you just really don't have to do anything. You can rack up some points if you have an easy hand to win with, but you definitely don't have to push hard against anything. If I were her, I'd probably just be holding on to some safe tiles even. You can always slim down the hand and hold on to good weights, and you don't have to. Generally, as dealer, you want to have the most efficient hand possible and keep a lot of extra tiles for your poor weights. But in Machida's situation, you really don't have to do that. You can just do lots of early cups, lots of sakigiri, and hold on to safe tiles. But she's not doing. But she has that option.
Her hand looks very fast, so probably has the speed with which to be able to fight these other hands. I think Otsuki opened up with the Yakuhai Chun. Red Dragon called, and is there door in that hand as well? There is pair door.
She has 2 Dora. Now she's Tenpai. So she won't move out of last place just by winning that hand, unless somebody deals into her. But I think she's thinking any points. Her team is still in first place at this point in time, so any points are going to be worth it and just end Machida's dealership.
Yeah, and a direct hit on either Aikawa or Kajita will be enough to escape 4th place.
Yeah, she'd have to get a direct hit on Kajita or Aikawa.
Dorapon, That's another way to make it happen.
Okay. All right. Now she will. Any win will get her into second place, which is massive. A huge change from fourth place to second place.
And all of a sudden, the table has to respect that hand. You just forget about building your own and just defend against it. If she could switch to pay Tonki. I thought that was a 7-month for a second. When I see somebody switching to defensive and cutting a pair, I just beg the wall to give me the tile that they just cut.
She switches to a honor tile, Tonki Wei.
None cut green dragon.
That will be Tempai for Kajita.
Is
What's she gonna do? Is Shaba wait? She might wait for something better here.
It's the best way to go. One so.
Yeah.
And with all these,
changes her single weight again.
yeah, with all these discards, you sort of get the vibe that it's a Tonki now. You saw the 5-so, 7-so cut, and now green dragon cut. So it feels like it's swapping around to Tonki, and maybe when it attaches to the shape that's already in hand, to get a multi-sided weight, then it will just stay there. One pin currently doesn't attach to anything. So it's really hard to defend against a player that is just swapping a Tonki. And there it is, the 3-sided weight.
It is 147. And Remi's discard, she has 2 8s discarded.
In an early 3, it looks like, or a 2?
Yeah, I think a 3.
What are the 2 tiles? Might make the 1-mon look a little safer. But of course, if you think they're Tonki swapping, then it really could be anything.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's such a tense moment for all of these players. Machida can play the most casually because even if she deals into a Mongon, she'll still be first. But certainly, you don't want to give up those points if you don't have to.
You see in Machida's hand, she switched into that shape that we were talking about earlier, the 4-4-6-8-8 shape. She's 2 away. Kajita has just folded her hand. So she's just, every time she's thinking it's just going to be what is the safest tile and what tiles do I need to keep to make sure that I can discard safely till the end of the hand. Trying to keep her second place right now.
There's one of the deal-in tiles. 5 pin just passed, so that will come out. So, found all of the 4 mons. And that's going to take over second place for Otsuki. Shun, Dora 3. A much-needed hand after a couple frustrating ones. She will steal away second place.
That's what you risk in second place when you fold, is being overtaken like that. Had not that much she could do. She'll say, at least I got third, but her team is really in a dire situation.
Yeah, not a lot to do.
Takes...
Big winner though, Machida will take a plus 55.5. Otsuki with that big swing will save her team a lot of points. That was going to be an even larger gain by the second place team, but it is saved by that Mongon, and what a finish.
Wow. Her cats, Remi has 2 cats, Moo and Mon, so I wonder if they're watching and cheering her on there. I wonder how many cats watch Mahjong on TV.
I'm sure there's some.
And these are not the correct seats, so ignore those seats, but Kajita is our first dealer. She had a really rough game the whole time. Remi actually had a rough game the whole time until that very end hand, which is all you need. You just need 2 hands or so to end well, to have a good game.
It all becomes okay as long as you win that Mangan in the end. And
all right, it was another quick game. Wow, the games are going really quick today.
Yeah, usually the Friday streams get all the long games, but today they've been relatively fast, so well done, players.
All right, awesome. Just giving one more plug for also my YouTube channel, which is YouTube at mahjongjen. If you want to learn how to improve your game, we have a great series on there called Prost. I've been updating once every 2 weeks now, so lots of episodes to catch up on if you've never watched it before. And I wanted to ask you about your Armel. You're maintaining first place, and you're done with all your games for the season.
Yeah, we got up to session 6, the final session, and my team scheduled all their games, or my group scheduled all their games the very first day that the session opened, which is a little bit of a disadvantage because, you don't know how many points you're going to end up needing when all things are said and done. But I finished with this.
Far ahead.
Yeah, I was pretty far ahead to begin with, so it was. I just wanted to get a positive, and I got a small positive. The problem is the players who are chasing me down, are very good and are very good at winning a lot of points in one go. And if they know they need about 70 points to catch me, that's entirely possible. I think Amy's one of the players from N League, and her team won the last season of N League, a large part due to her contributions. So she's definitely one of the players that can easily chase me down. She got over 100 points in her last session, and so 70 points is nothing in comparison.
Yeah, the American Reach Mahjong League, it's a really, really great league, and I'm really grateful that I tweet about it all the time, but I'm also allowed to play in it, and Garth and I are both playing as well. I think we're both in contention to move back up to A2.
Yeah, I saw you played some of your games this week, and looks like you're in a good spot to promote.
I'm in a spot to promote, as long as I think there's just one player who could ruin it for me, and I know he got some big games against me, so just a teeny bit nervous about that, but if I can just dodge that, it should be okay.
Best of luck to you and your promotion there.
And I'll be introducing to you, bringing in another A1 leaguer from American Reach Mahjong League. How was your season, Corak?
Hello everyone. Well, my season was okay, and Nathanael just ran away with the league. So I'm sitting there with a pretty good position, around plus 110, and I'm just completely out of contention at this point.
But still the longest running member of the A1 league.
Yes, I'm the only person that's been in every single season of Armel at the top division. Nathaniel's very close behind. He missed the first one because he was in a very tough group in the inaugural Beta League, but he will be having 10 seasons in a row, and that is an accomplishment that I'm sure will come up in our preseason launch show we always do at the beginning of a new season, which will be probably the first week of January.
And sometimes I join that. I will if I'm able. And our other co-commentator joining, which you can see, I just slapped the picture on top of mine and forgot to hide mine, apparently. Sorry about that. Dave, welcome, USPML president.
Great
Not
to be here as always.
In Armel right now, but
I wish I had
huge
time
Armel
for Armel.
supporter.
I wish I had time for Armel. It is wonderful, but unfortunately I have so many things to juggle that instead I just get to watch everyone having all the fun.
Yes, I always say that all the people who are important in North American Mahjong are either playing in Armel or at least supporters of Armel. I'm on this big thing about supporting Armel right now.
Well, again, I've said it. I have no problem saying it again. They've done such a fantastic job running a structured league. Back in the day, lots of people tried. And it's really hard. It takes a lot more effort than you might imagine to run a league with lots of people all over the country getting together and playing. And Armel's done such an excellent job of putting it together and keeping it together and supporting an environment that's really helped players learn and grow and excel.
Yeah, Edwin and Amber have just done an amazing job across the board. Really, really grateful and want to support it as much as possible. So, well, that's it for me. So, thank you,
let's
Nathaniel. Always
introduce the
great
players and go ahead and jump in.
Thanks so much, Jen.
All right, good luck, guys.
Here we are. All right, this is game 3 of the day, right?
Yes, should be the last match of the day.
All right, and it looks like we have our seedings up. And let's start at the beginning. And this is... Here we go, Mifumi Mareki with Nihon Professional Mahjong Association. Has been professional for 9 years. And loves Pinfu. And the 6-mon.
Who doesn't love Pinfu? Great Yaku.
I always thought of the 6-mon as like the Leonardo da Vinci man figure. That's how I kind of remembered what the 6 looked like. I always thought it was kind of cool.
The 6 for me is the first one that I can't just immediately look at and know that's the number. A 1 is 1 dash, a 2 is a 2 dash, etc.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3 are easy. And then 4 you can get.
4, yeah, it's a box.
Yeah. It has 4 vertical lines. Anyway, next around we have Hiroka Mizukoshi, also with Nihon Professional Mahjong Association from Osaka, and learned Mahjong as a child online, but started playing more seriously in university, and works as a nurse in a hospital ward by day. That's really cool. Favorite Yakuza?
Yeah, great.
7 dot.
Great work during the day, and of course, then you have the Mahjong stuff afterwards. Of course, if you're at a hospital, you may end up on the night shift, so who knows?
Yeah, your timings could be a little rough. Hospital work is very, very strict on your schedule, but it's good work, you know, like you're helping people out. Gotta be a good feeling. Next round, I'm going clockwise and Mahjong counterclockwise. How terrible to be. Next round, representing Manmaru House, we have Kei Takahashi, currently in 4th place overall for the individual score, which is pretty impressive. With plus 234 from Japan Professional Mahjong League. Been a Mahjong professional for 5 years and won the 2024 World Reach Online Team League individual race. So Kei Takahashi's just been doing astoundingly across the board. Is a fan of Star Wars and has a Mahjong club called R2D2, which is quite clever in my opinion.
Yes, but definitely see the resume and the results showing up here.
Heck yeah. And last but never least, we have Mami Ueda, also from Japan Professional Mahjong League. Been a professional for 2 years and considered to be the ace of her team, Wonderful Days Chiba. So some high power competitors coming in the door.
All right then. Well, let's go ahead and jump in.
All right.
Now, this table looks a little looser. You see a bunch of smiles being cracked here. It is the last game of the day, but I've seen some of these are just mega tense. But you just see they're relaxed, which is always a good feeling.
Yeah, it's nice to start the game just like not holding your breath, you know.
All right, looks like South will be the first Dora.
All right.
Trying to see if we can make Chant out of this, or whether it's the regular Pinfu. And that 3-3-5-8 mon definitely moves it towards a regular Pinfu hand. Ooh, double dragon pair with the Chun and Haku pair.
And a Dora's hanging out.
Ooh, always nice to have an extra one of those. So, little Pinfu hand and Pinfu hand here, so... Ooh, okay, well, there's a pair up. That's also the double East, so... That's very much, you want something else, but honestly, double East as dealer is fine.
Yeah, double East is great.
Tuso's a big pull there. Completes the 1-3-4 shape. 3-mon now an Anko, so getting really close, actually. 5, bit of an overlap, the 3-5-5-6 now. 8 connects nicely. Now the question is, what pair do you want to cut? Or do you just lock everything in with 2-mon?
Yeah, there's some weird. This is another hand where it's like it's got some Chanta vibe to it, but not enough.
Yeah, it's just not there. Ends up cutting the 1 to lock in the penchant. You can always cut the 1-2 later if you draw elsewhere.
Oh, the arm.
Well, we do see a 2-pin, so we got the important
There
thing. It is a pair up. This does allow you to then just call the east and use the 2 as the pair. 6 connects nicely. Oh, there's Shun. That should be called.
Yes, we're grabbing it.
Of course, and of course, the plan is probably to go Dora Tonki. Speaking of Dora, there is one drawn. It does not fit in this hand, though. We'll hold it, of course, for
7,
now,
8,
though.
9. No, excellent.
7-pin doesn't really do anything. Oh, cuts the east. That's a surprise.
Really?
The
That is a
double
bit of a
east,
surprise.
that'll never leave my hand, like, ever.
There's another 7, 8, 9 fill here, or at least 7, 8, maybe 9's a pair. I'm curious what her thought is with it. Maybe because it's the indicator. She's just thinking,
There's only one left.
yeah, it's just not likely, and we don't have time now that Chun's been called. Because everyone's really, it's still we're just finishing first row, and everyone's moved real fast on these hands.
Yeah, that's definitely a read on the table. It should be 7-pin. Yeah, there it goes. Likely to be a Riichi Nomi.
8.
Hatsu doesn't really do anything. Questions, do you want it your safe tile? Can be cut 9-pin. Yeah, that's going to be the play.
Hold it in case something bad happens later. 4. We could throw 1 pin and keep some of the same options.
Yeah, so I definitely cut the 1 because we want to slide down with the 6 and make this Tateniu anyway. No, throws the 4.
I could imagine doing that because, like, then the 1 is a little safer for later. If you're thinking it's going to be 1, 2, 3 regardless, maybe.
Well, speaking of 1, 2, 3, that fills any 1, 2, 3 there.
Ishan 10 on Pinfu.
North does nothing. The 2 so does nothing.
Nothing.
And the West does nothing.
Oh. Not so fun go around.
And these are the draws. You just don't want to draw blanks because you know someone's just right there. The middle of second row, especially. It's scary to hit those blanks, especially if they're in the middle.
7, 8, 9. Okay.
Takes the Shun 10, possible door Tonki. There is Pinfu as Riichi Pinfu, 5, 8-pin.
Now a fairly live middle tile. The worst thing to draw right after.
Now, the 1's safe and doesn't really hurt the hand. Oh, when I have an Anko with a 5, you can't just brute force the 1 chance 3. I'd probably throw the 3-pin. I with the double Yakuhai Dora Tonki, I'd want to fight for a hand like that.
Yeah, throwing the 6 is surprising.
Yeah, just a hard fold. Now, this hand, on the other hand, is just not as good. I don't mind this fold at all.
The 6 is good now if you want to fold. We don't want to fold. We want to go.
Well, that completes the shape there, but threw it last time and he's gonna throw it again.
It's always rough to get that second chance. Like, are you sure you're folding? Really? Destiny says maybe not.
Oh, Dora pair up, and this would have been Tempai.
Yeah, that's a tough one. That's
Sumo, reach Sumo Pinfu. No Ura, but we'll just shut this down.
Yep. A nice 3-Han win to get the game started. Decent value.
Yeah, budget 3-Han when you have the Pinfu there. Pinfu Sumo. The 20-fu always feels bad if you call it the 3.
Yeah. But the Sumo really helps. The Sumo really puts her, again, good 3,000 to 3,500 above everyone else.
Yes.
And that gives you a little bit of space.
Right, and we're moving to East 2 here. Take a look at the hand. Kind of Tateniu. Shapes aren't really defined yet. Maybe some sort of 6, 7, 8, 79 Sanshku later. Have a Hatsu pair in this hand. Maybe just call and go. Hatsu also happen to be Dora. Very important. You get that, it's easy Mongon. The question is when the third one going to come out. East pair up. Well, we have a second person who has a double East in our game now.
2, 3, 4 finishes.
Oh, there it goes.
There goes the east. Are we calling the east?
Oh,
We are
yeah.
calling the
There,
east.
we
Yeah, heck
absolutely take that one. It's not the door indicator this time. 9-pin does allow you to hedge the Itsu, so Chun comes out. Formon, ooh, interesting. You have the Ryongtan 4-6-8 shape in
4, 6,
Monzu
8,
with
yeah.
possibly Peiko. I feel 4-pin or 7-pin, but instead cuts the Penchon. Could also cut the West pair. Oh, there's a Dora.
Oh, dear.
You also have the East pair called, so may end up planning to go to Aratanki for the Mongon.
At bare minimum, she's not going to throw it away.
Well, may throw it away later. Another pair is actually close to choice. It has to be 4-pin or 7-pin, doesn't it?
Looks
yeah,
like.
I like the 4 here. You saw potential Suji trap on the 7.
Okay, okay.
9 loosely connects to 7. Too much there. Ooh, Itsu getting close.
Nice.
Chun's a miss. You can choose to basically wait. Okay, that's sell up for Chitoy.
Looks like Chitoy's thinking. Yeah, Chitoy time.
If it turns into a Peiko, great. The thing is, if it turns into a Peiko, then you're already Tenpai for Chitoitsu, so you don't need to worry about it.
It's
Ooh,
a win-win.
that's an interesting draw. Okay, we'll just lock this in. Probably going Riichi Pinfu.
Out goes 5, so.
Now the Anko of 2-pin could even go towards Tanya, depending on how much you want to hold that Dora.
Yeah, it's a safe time to follow the 5, so why not?
Well, there's the last Dora.
One. Well,
and this is a Chitoy. Yeah, there is zero chance this
Chitoy
comes
time.
out.
Chitoy
yeah,
time.
I think especially you draw that with the way that has developing, it is Chitoy.
Oh, heck yeah. And Chitoy's great for that. It lets you incorporate some of those random tiles. You're like, I really don't want to get rid of this. And then you can often have a very strong defense if you have to bail out of it.
Yeah, it's one of those things you don't really think about, but when you look at the stats, the higher up you go, especially online, the more Chitoy and less Toy there are. Because it allows you to play for defense, and yeah, Toy is really hard. It doesn't seem like it until you've done it a few times and you start failing. Oh, that's why people don't go for it.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's also it's easier when players a little less experienced and kind of throw anything.
Yes. Oh, speaking of throwing anything, we saw the 7-pin was not called.
Not called. We're not going to do a call Tanya, but the 7 so will be called.
Gets rid of the bad shape here. Can still go out Suzuki on the Hatsu, but we know that's never coming out.
Yeah. Very unlikely. I can't see a situation.
Oh, no! The 5, the backfire.
Alas. All too common in Mahjong.
Well, it's even worse in Chitoitsu, but we're going to have a Riichi Pinfu here.
Waiting on 4 7-pin, and here's a 7-pin.
And it's Furry 10. There's a huge incentive to push. You can throw the Chun here. It is once cut. We'll just push the 9 instead. Same kind of concept.
Okay, push 8-pin.
Yeah, there's a Chun. It's going to hold the 7 until the end, but if Tenpai is reached, that will come out.
Oh my god. The weird thing about this is clearing out the Hatsus could let you maybe Tanya this out, but that seems
you're not throwing
You're not throwing it into a
Dora
reach.
into this. There's no way.
It's like
you feel the backfire of that Chun, but that was the best thing that possibly could have happened. Because that would have been the Tenpai. You just throw the 7.
The true test of Mahjong, I feel like, is like, can you hold that in your head and realize throwing the Chun was the right answer, even if it immediately backfires with your next draw?
And, well, the 9 so doesn't do anything. Is that safe? It doesn't look very safe on this board. The question is, what is safe? I guess maybe the 2-pin with the early 3. He doesn't throws the Formon.
The 3.
4 so's a miss. Okay, yeah, the Chitoy's giving up.
Yeah, we're out of here, I think.
The only hand that really has an incentive to push here is the one that has 2 Dora and has to figure this is exactly the situation we're in. There's either 0 or at best 1 in the wall, and it's not coming out except maybe by the Riichi.
Yeah. Yeah, that's unfortunate, but there's no way. There's no way that hand gets done.
Well, I feel this hand is do you trust 2-pin? Because this is not finishing.
No, there's no way.
I trust 2-pin here. It's not great, but yep, there it is. Goes
There it
for it.
is.
And that's going to get you safely to the end of the hand.
Heck yeah. If you've got to throw something risky, something you've got a few of is probably a good deal.
Well, it's one of those conundrums because the more you have it, that means someone else probably needs it.
That's true. All right, we're giving up. We're giving up. We're all done
It's
here.
a 7, but it's the wrong suit. Yeah, there we go. The 2-2-2, and that's the last tile. And when your hand is Riichi Pinfu, picking up the net for 2,000, because of course you lose your Riichi sig, is still acceptable.
Yes, still a win. And again, still kind of sumo-esque in that all other players are pulled down while you're pulled up. So now about, what, like 6,700 to 7,700 ahead of everyone else at the table. No, I'm sorry, 6,400.
Yeah, 6,400
7,000.
and 7,000. But, I mean, it's early. It's still Ace 3. We're with a manga in range between 1st and 4th. Still, it's nice to get the points. You'd always rather be ahead than behind. And this feels like a Pinfu type hand. Maybe some other... Nah. It's just kind of an ugly Pinfu hand.
Yeah, a few
There's
good fills
no
would make this nice.
value. Well, you want Dora. You have loose connectors to it with a 1-5-6 and 3 is Dora. But everything just meh. Oh, well, why don't you just start with the
That's
Chunonko?
cool. Yeah, have all the tunes. It's great.
This is also,
There's
it's
also
a
good
6
shapes.
fill there for a better hand. The 5 is
5 fill
almost a
there.
perfect draw here with a 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 6, 7 now.
Everyone else is having such a good day.
The 4 mod at least allows you to move towards Itsu, but the hand's just really slow.
Yeah, it's
Trying to
gonna be a
decide
hard
whether the
one.
1, 2, 3 Sanshiku's worth it here, and nope, throws the 3 pin back. Haku doesn't really fit. Haku still doesn't really fit. 1-so pair up, so this definitely is pushing the hand towards Itsu. 3-so, huge draw the Dora. Speaking of 3-so Dora fills.
2 Dora draws back to back.
We've seen a few of those in this hand. Haku is useless, and then 3-so fills.
3-so double
We're
fills.
just back-to-back things fill. Repeat.
We're Ishan 10 on this hand, actually. Jeez. Fast.
8-pin's actually a decent option here, but you have the overlap. I just don't like this 8-mon. You can throw the pay for just raw efficiency. Nope, well, Karagiri the 8.
Swappy doppy.
The reason here is with the 3-4 and the 6-7-8-8 is to just get rid of the overlap. At the same time, I don't really like it.
Maybe the 1-mon. No, interesting.
Oh, I don't like that cut. I want the excuse to go Itsu with this hand.
Yeah, like I'd say if we're cutting a pair, I'd rather cut the 1-man to leave the Itsu option open at least.
Well, you have a 6-0 pair up, telling you Ishan 10. Oh, well, there's your backfire.
Oh, no. Immediate sadness, which is unfortunate.
Ew.
Yeah.
Ew.
Yeah,
the
no
most
one
vision
this.
cut just the 1-sub. We'll cut the 1-mon.
What is this game trying to tell us? Oh, here we go. 5 for the 5-6. Very nice. Complete.
And everyone else at the tables that you threw 1-so, 1-so, 1-so. So something went horribly, horribly wrong in that hand, and yes, it did. Seven pin moves us towards the Peiko option.
So we'll go in that direction, it looks like. This is better than something. It's being held as a safe tile.
So doesn't really do anything here. That shape is just locked in. Well, you also have Chitoitsu as an option. It should be 2-pin. And it was 2-pin, although the camera did move a little early.
Yeah, panned first.
All right, well, that's Tempai.
Is it good though?
It doesn't matter. It's Riichi Dora Chun. Why not? Now the question is, do you Riichi the 4? Ooh, I don't like the Dama here.
You're Dama-ing. Interesting.
Well, the idea is a Suji bait on the 7 isn't going to work if you Riichi, but I just Riichi the 1 anyway. I don't care. There may also be an option of wait for something to Karagiri later, but when you have a Chunonko in the hand, you just don't have that many tiles to Karagiri.
Hmm.
Now, 7 says,
Here's
this
the
is
7.
the deal in tile. This is why the Dama was taken, is hoping this would come out.
Yep. And there we
There
go.
it is. Chun Dora 1.
2 and 40. 2,600.
Also gets the
Oh,
stick from the last
2,900.
round.
Yeah. Because of the Homba. That becomes 3,900 total. 2,600 plus 300 Homba plus 1,000 from the extra stick.
Yes.
Cleared 30K.
But just with where the team is, you need to be going for value.
Yeah, I was gonna say, looking at the total score, we need something big. I don't know, I always feel a little conflicted about that because sometimes I feel like getting a little traction is still worth it, even if it's not big.
I'm not one for moral victories. Me want point.
Fair.
So you'd have an interesting Manzu shape here with the 3, 4, 6, 7, 9, 9, 9. Could potentially go Honitsu or something later. Ooh, this is an interesting hand. That is Honitsu. Could also go Chitoitsu. Should be 9. Ooh, that is a sellout on Chitoi or Toy Toy. I don't think I like the 4. This is 2 Dora, so I don't even think you have to worry too much about it. You just go.
This is another hand that looks kind of flushy, like it could get there.
Yeah.
5, 6.
Well, there's your 3 pair up. And
Yeah.
I'd like to still have that 4 from last turn. The 6 is a surprising cut. I definitely on the 1, use the Dora pair, potentially go Tateniu.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised by that. I'm very curious what the plan ends up being.
Well, there's a Dora. So this is going Chitoi. It doesn't really matter which one you're cutting. Yeah, I'm really surprised by that 6, though, when I take a second look at that hand.
Right.
With a 1-3-5 upgrade. Eicho doesn't do much. Should go back. This does, in theory, set up a trap on the 9, but honestly, no one's going to buy it. Because your early discards say the hand's doing something weird anyway.
Yeah. West pairs up, interesting.
1 pin. You don't really want him in Pinzu with that pawn, but now you've released the 1 pin. Everyone's kind of wondering, what on earth are you doing? We might see a con here. It may be too early. Could cut the south now. Could also just call the con right now. Cuts from it. Oh, okay. That's
really interesting.
Sad to see. I want more action.
I feel like everyone's trying to be a little clever when they actually have a lot of
Don't need to
opportunity
be. Yeah, there have
aggressive.
been a lot of just raw efficiency mistakes in this game.
South should come out here, I hope.
You can cut the 4 or the 3, but yeah, I just cut the south. Riichi Nomi isn't great, but the perfect Ishan, it isn't quite as perfect. You have the overlap on that 5.
Yeah,
Speaking of 5s. 1 mon doesn't do anything.
Bing.
Oh, there's your Tenpai, Riichi Nomi. And you know what would be really nice with this hand? A 9 con.
There's a 2 fill, but it's a little bit of a tough spot now. Oof.
This is just Chitoitsu. The Chun is live, which is why it didn't immediately just come out. But it is still probably the safest tile to advance the hand, so it does still come out.
This hand's got a Dora pair, like it's got room to run.
Yeah, but it's still... Oh, and there's the deal on an Ipatsu. Riichi Ipatsu doesn't look like any Ura.
It's another 2 and 40, 2600 plus 2 hombo, right? That's 3600.
Well, it gets the Riichi stick back.
Oh, I see. 2600 and then.
And we're in South Round. This game's moved quickly.
Yeah, it's been very fast, and that does bring Takahashi really close to everyone else. So even a 1,000 point win for Takahashi will get them second place at this point.
Yeah, that 5 per second's kind of scary, but it is only South 1.
It is, and first isn't so far away that it's
no, everyone's within
unchallengeable.
Magunsuma range. Since Takahashi is dealer, Pinfu shape, we have a Chun pair, maybe a Chanta, but unlikely because 5-1 is Dora, and that hand had one of those. We have a South pair, could call this. Potentially, the 4 extends the 1, 2, 3. It looks like a Pinfu as well. Tumon doesn't really do anything, but we just cut the East. It is the Yakuhai, but it's solo here, so it's not as useful. To hold the 1 does hedge both Chanta and Itsu. Itsu being very distant at this point, though. 1 pin loosely connects to the 2. Everything's a mess. This feels like the best hand of the bunch, and it's just not pretty.
Yeah, this is going to be another, like, small time hand. Like, there's not going to be much to be made here.
Now, this hand, at least with the 6, 6, 7, 8, has an option for Ipeiko, but even that's still slow. We'll see the South held here, because, of course, that was one of the towns that could have sped up one of the hands, if that ever comes out. Well, you look at the rest of this hand, it's still bad.
The more I see that hand with the Chuns, the more I appreciate that they didn't call it immediately. Because it's like the hand itself is so
it's
unpleasant
bad
looking.
Well,
that
you
it's like
don't
you
actually really, especially if you end up with the Itsu route, you're fine using Chun as a pair.
Yeah, yeah. I think a lot of people, a lot of people will be prone to grab that immediately. And so, like, I respect the restraint there.
Now, this is Ishun 10. Maybe Riichi coming later, and there goes the 3-1. 9 shows a blank. 8 mon's a blank. 2 mon also a blank. 8 so a blank. Okay, well, there goes a whole bunch of wasted time.
Here's
and
6.
There's an Ishun 10. Not a great one, but you'll take it. Ooh, 8's an interesting tile here. There is a route to Tateniu if you cut the 1, 2 there, but it's really ugly.
It's a long road to Tateniu.
There's
1,
no
3,
such
4, 5.
thing as a long road to Tateniu. It's always there.
That's a good extension on the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay, there we go. Now the 1, 2 gets
now
cut
we're
as
good.
the
Yeah.
Pinfu fills in nicely. 8 doesn't do anything. And yeah, this hand's just trying to call the South and be done.
You can see also the speed of play is now very high.
Yes, that 8 fills in nicely. So Ishunten for Riichi Itsu.
Very nice.
There's the call. Tempai waiting on 5, 8 mon. Upgrades, perfect Ishunten. No, I said that's Ishun, that's actually 2 Shunten. Because there's an extra pair to get rid of. Speaking of ugly Ishuntens, goes ahead and takes it. The interesting thing here is when you see a late west cut to Dashi here, you're kind of wondering if that's a Dama.
Yeah. Play the 3 and get away with it. Play the 4 and get away with it.
Again, just the long hesitation here. Plus, of course, there's the open hand. You're kind of wondering if there's any value. Well, there's your Tempai. Yuck!
Yeah, do we even want this? Because I feel like the answer is we do not.
We'll go ahead and Dama this. There are Peiko upgrades, but really just looking for the 1,000 points here from the Tempai payments. Because you figure the open hand is probably Tempai. Six moves this towards a Tateniu, value upgrade, but it probably is not happening. Dora pair up, so that hand's done. Oh, just sumo the Dora. Tateniu, no, not Tateniu. It's South Dora 1.
South Dora. 1,000/500.
So nothing fancy there, but definitely makes second a little more secure.
And makes first a lot more vulnerable.
Well, first is always going to be vulnerable because Mareki here is last dealer. It's always something you need to be considering when you get towards these south rounds is what's going to be, who can I sumo to death? Oh, you have a south pair here, can potentially call and go with that. West pair, but that's not a Yakuai, does also have a Dora, maybe a 4, 5, 6 Sanshoku in there. This feels like a Pinfu when you Peiko and lower Pinzu. This feels like a distant Pinfu. It's kind of a discombobulated mess, but it will eventually turn into something likely resembling a Pinfu. If it gets time, that is.
Yeah, we'll see how much time anyone gets. These hands are moving real quick.
Oh, well, there's the first
fill.
fill, looking for that 4, 5, 6 Sanshoku. Eight, so allows a slight block upgrade, but you just have so many of these worthless Yakuhai, they just need to get cut.
Yeah, it's like we can get rid of one of these things. South is going to get grabbed.
Will get called. Yeah, just the south. Oh, there's the Peiko route. Distant Rion Peiko. So extends the shape here because you have a 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 8, which may end up using the 8 as the pair and using Kanchan 6.
Do we want to keep going with pairs?
There are a lot of them. I actually don't mind the 7-mon cut. Okay, cuts the 3 instead, maximizing pairs.
Get the toy if we get a little lucky.
Yeah, well, if that loose 7 comes out, then there's a route. Otherwise, I just don't think it's getting there. Well, this hand was... I said it would work its way towards a Pinfu, and it's getting there slowly.
Real slow. Ooh. We do not.
No, the shapes are terrible.
Yeah,
the type of situation I like holding that because it is the safe tile of all safe tiles.
Yes.
And if we do want to con later, we can make that decision.
But it's true that at this moment, the hand's really not in a good spot to be
right.
The door account.
Well, similar situations left her. This is the, do I really want to play this trash? And that is a no, I'm out.
Yeah, no, we're not doing this. It's not worth it.
Torso could turn to a Peiko Sanshoku even.
4, 5, 6, maybe.
I want to cut the 7 or 9 so.
I was going to say, I'd probably cut the 9 so. It's about equal what we lose in terms of acceptance. We cut the 9,
I don't think it makes a difference. Because we have our West pair already. Yes. And there's our pawn, but yeah, just trying to call this down. And
just getting it done.
And quickly. Five model of that hand to accept Dora, but it's probably not getting there. Well,
4, 6, 8.
The shapes are there, but has decided to give up. It just isn't going to play this hand, which when there's a 2-call hand on the board and your hand's still in that kind of situation, makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah.
And just a lot of swapping for safety and a little bit of efficiency, mostly safety is what we're seeing here. No one thinks these cards suggest no one thinks the open hand is actually Tenpai, which it's not. But I'm kind of surprised that the players aren't giving it that much respect.
Ooh.
Well, you can't go toy now, but nope. Oh, the 6-0 is such a perfect draw.
All right. We are
Potential
Ishan
Riichi pin. Oh, well, I was kind of joking about Ryan Peiko, but it's getting closer.
All of a sudden, excitement is coming to all these hands.
Well, not this one.
Not this one, this poor hand.
Oh, the backfire
no!
on the 7. That would have been Tenpai for Toy.
The Toy. Alas. Oh no.
9-mon does not seem scary at all. So there it goes.
Ay. Nothing good for this poor hand.
No.
Oh, wow.
More pairs.
Pairs forever. So, here we go.
There's your Tenpai. It should just be a Riichi. This is Riichi Sanshogu Dora 1 waiting on 5-pin. Oh,
right.
well, there's also Tenpai. This would be Riichi, Ipeiko, Tanya. Well, Dama here. So it is Tanya, Ipeiko, Dora 1.
This is an interesting duel now. All of a sudden, the knives are out.
Goes in
calling it.
Ipatsu.
Okay. No Ipots for no one.
Is
That
also
Cupid does
very
not get
suspicious
grabbed.
that 6-0 came out. Yeah, Sumiguro Riichi. That was when that 6-0 comes out. It's something's going on.
Yeah.
And now it does turn to that Riichi Tanya Ipeiko Dora.
Intense stuff.
And we have the worst position here, which is still Ishan 10 with nothing.
Yeah, oh geez. But not calling that 2-pin was, I think, the right decision. You don't want to pong when there's dangerous reaches on the table.
Yeah, and just gets out of here. Well, at least try to. There's our sumo. Reach sumo. Sanshogu Dora 1.
2, 3, 4, 5.
That looks like a 1-mon, so there'll
mon,
be
yeah,
no Ura, but that is
Mangan
Mangan.
Sumo.
We'll take over first, at least for now.
Yeah, that was a big one.
And of course, the extra Riichi stick as well. And Mizukoshi is going to jump, what, 7,000 above Meraki here?
Yeah, well, I think it's 6,800 technically.
Yeah, 68, but so we'll go with 7.
Yep. So a Mangan Sumo from Reki will bring them back up to the top at this point. So we just Mangan Sumo is always the strongest strategy.
Yes. And Mizukoshi off that win will be dealer here. Maybe some sort of 789 Sanshogu? It's distant because you still have the 9, so it's just a boring Pinfu hand with no value unless it does end up in that Sanshogu route. This also looks like Pinfu, but maybe an Ipeiko, at least in lower Pinzu. We have a Tanya type hand, does have a loose Dora, Dora being Hatsu. Similarly, a loose Dora there. But a lot of just meh. I don't like any of these hands. Well, at least gives you the tune. You can call this down. Tanya is no longer really consideration. You can ideally draw another Dora or end up Dora Tonki.
6 is a good fill.
Yep, moves up, and you do have the pen shot and then the ugly 6, 8, 9 shape, where even if you get the 7, you still have extra tiles to get rid of. 1 so won't do anything. 7 does extend the Sozu shape, the 2, 4, 5, 6, now 7. And throws the 1 back, wants this 6, 7, 8 Sanchiku as a backup plan. Chuso pairs up. Could cut Chun or 8-pin. We'll go with the Chun. 4 being cut, and a bit of a backfire on the 5 previous turn. 5 extends the Sozu shape. 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. Could go 1-pin or 7-pin. Yeah, it goes with 7-pin. Keeps the 1, 2, 3, 4 shape. Ace of blank, 4. Ooh, well, do you believe in Honitsu? Nope.
Not that strongly, apparently.
Nope, I agree.
Oh, here's a 6, 7, 8 Sanshoku option, which would be pretty cool.
Definitely here. The problem, you still have this door to get rid of at some point.
Hmm.
Ooh, 3 fills
3,
in
4,
nicely.
5.
It's now very white Ishanten. I'd throw the door. Forget it.
Yeah,
There it
it's just
goes.
gotta go. See you later. It's Ishanten on a lot of stuff.
And you always breathe the sigh of relief when it's not called.
Yes, but yeah, Dragon Dora, you just don't.
And yeah, let me get rid of that hot potato.
And you watch the rest of the table exhale and throw
And
theirs.
another one, and now Dora is dead.
And you're everyone's good friend. You help them out. Oh, interesting.
And it's Ishanten now for Riichi Tanyao. Formon, well, not the 6-minute Sanchiku anymore, but does move the hand closer. Definitely wants that Sanchiku, though. We'll throw the 4 back. Goes and keeps the Chun safe tile. This is Tempai, but it'd be Riichi
The worst
Nomi 1.
Tempai. Ugh.
Yeah, I'd throw it back.
Yeah, we're not doing it.
Not taking that one. There's just too much value here.
Big
And
hands
when you're
lost.
sitting at 18-8, you can't take the Riichi Nomi in the second to last hand.
It's like it'll get you from 4th to 3rd, which is nice, but it's not enough. And if you keep doing those small little hops, you're not going to be able to get anywhere.
Well, the thing is, you can't really do those small hops anymore in South 3.
Yeah, you run out of time. Yeah, exactly.
And so it's going to get thrown back. So Mon, you see all those beautiful Monzu tiles in the pond there. And figure out what the hand could have been. Well, that's also Tempai. It's also thrown back. I don't like the 2 throw back. I definitely would have thrown the 1, because if I draw the 4, I have Ipeiko.
True. You have like a value upgrade chance.
Right. I get Tanyo Ipeiko is a real upgrade chance. And if I draw the 3, I'm not that sad.
That's fine.
And this is the, yeah, I actually don't mind the Tanyo here, the 2-7 Shampoo I'd be on. But this is a Riichi Pinfu. There's the 5, fills in the shape, so there's Ishanten as well. Oh, just Patsumo, Riichi Patsumo, Pinfu, Ura.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Mangan. And Ueda's gonna be in second place after that.
That's
goes
big.
From 4th place and not in a great position to, hey, we have a good chance at first here.
Absolutely. Both Muraki and Ueda in this last hand have what, like 50? Yeah, so like 3 and 40, like a 5,200 size hand will guarantee them first.
Well, the problem with Muraki is
Muraki's
even
dealer.
if you win it, you're dealer, so you don't get to say, hey, I'm done here. Thanks, guys.
It's a blessing or a curse, because remember, she needs a lot of points for her team. So if she gets going on a rampage, she's got all the leeway she needs, but it's not as easy as it sounds.
Now, I have a Chun pair here, but just the score that Takahashi has, you imagine it's going to be agreed for Honitsu of some form. It's just pairs all over the place. Hatsu pair up, that might be a Honitsu. But with where Mizukoshi is, maybe just call it down and get your 1,000.
Yeah, Mizukoshi has all the incentive in the world to just end it.
Do talk about that with the first place bonus, the Oka, and then even the 2010 Uma. First place is worth a lot. An extra 2,000 or even 2 hot here doesn't really scale compared to the plus 30 difference between first and second.
It looks Honitsu, but now Dora. 5, 6, 7 Sanchoku is an option.
7-1 fills in. Possible Sanchoku in 789 or 678 later. Forso pairs up.
Ugh, we're just creeping towards this Honitsu, but
would have to cut a Dora on it.
Yeah, the Dora sitting there is just rough times.
Now, speaking of loose Dora, you don't really want.
Yeah,
but you have to keep. You have no choice with this scoreline.
Haku can go first.
Yeah, I agree with Haku. Yeah, there it goes.
First.
8 fills in there with the shape, but Speaking of that whole hand.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
There's going to be a
call.
call.
Like
just going for the Yatsuzuke on the Hatsu. Again, Mizukoshi doesn't need anything else.
So we got our 5, 6,
7, 8 Sanshoku.
Are we doing 5, 6,
Or
7?
5, 6, 7 Sanshu, rather.
We'd have to throw a few more things, but it's an option.
Well, it seems to be how the hand's trying to be played. Seven's a blank. East's a blank. One pin was thrown last turn. It's not technically a blank, but it doesn't do that much. Ooh, 5 pin.
Okay.
Yeah, it should just be the
4,
2.
5, 5,
Shift
6,
this
7,
down. You can also cut the west-west here.
3, 4, 5, but that Dora is just sticking out like a sore thumb.
You can't cut the Dora. I'd go 8 pin or maybe even Chun. I like 8 pin. The goal of the Dora here is just draw another one. I feel we just have the best Sanshiku right if we cut 8 pin here.
It's a tough decision.
Well, she's thinking about the Dora, but you just can't cut the Dora with this scoreline.
Yeah, it's like it's the one that doesn't fit, but oof.
If you're doing it, you're saying this is Sanshiku or else, and I feel if you're doing that, you should cut the 8 pin. Goes in and cuts the Chun here. This does get some options, but you of course lose out on the Chun. Well, that's a bunch of pairs. Now Ishun's in for Shitoi.
There's a lot of pairs. Yeah, there's a lot of cool things that could happen there now.
You're gonna just try and call this down.
3, 4, 5. Oh my god.
Ooh, there's your 608 Sanshoku.
Yeah,
and, I'd really like to have a Chun pair now. That was exactly why I wanted to cut the 8 pin. Still Ishun 10, Riamu Ranman.
Oh my god.
5. Oh, that is a bloated shape. And you can't just cut the other Chun here. You can't cut the 7 pin, the 8 pin. I still don't think you can cut Dora.
6, 7, 8 Sanshoku, the Dora's got to be your pair.
Yeah.
If you're not throwing it, the Dora's got to be your pair.
Maybe not with how extended that Manzu shape is now, with the potential 3-sided.
Yeah.
Okay, gives up the Manzu shape and just holds the 3-so. 7 pin to really do anything for this hand. Because you get the 6, you're just throwing the 7 out anyway. If you draw the 6 pin, you're throwing the 7, so.
Yeah.
Oh, and that is what I think is a call. Yeah, okay, there's the 6. Waiting for 7, so.
Is that another 8 pin? Is that 4? 8? No, I'm sorry, that's 3 8 pins.
It is just 3, but it doesn't need to go to Ortanki, which looks to be the new plan. That's one of those cheats you don't really think about, but if you just wait on Dora, Sumo on a Riichi, Sumo is always at least Mongon. If you have a Dora Tanki like that, Reach Sumo Dora 2 guaranteed.
1, 2, 3, 4, yeah.
Oh, well, there's a Dora.
Here's our tempai.
This should just be a Riichi. This is Riichi Dora, and boy, what a difference, but it deals in.
To our dealer.
And that's Sanshoku. Tanya Sanshoku looks like.
2, which is 3,000. 2 and 30 is 2,900. And a dealer repeat.
And Oeda drops back a little bit, but still Mongon
within range,
from first.
South
will be the Dora. Ooh, that's only a scary one.
In South round? Oh, heck yeah.
That is a lot of Manzu tiles and a whole bunch of other garbage. I'm just going Shunitsu. Forget this hand.
Yeah, it's time. It's time.
This is an ugly Pinfu. You also have a floating South Dora. This is similarly need to get some of those honors. Probably Pinfu though, and similarly need to get some honors, and it's probably Pinfu. But this is the
Oh
exciting
man,
head, is the dealer.
heck yeah. Shinizu's a coming.
Or at
least
least
so
it is
far.
for now until someone pairs
Yeah.
up a Dora, then all of a sudden that becomes the exciting hand. And a little trick on Honetsu/Shinitsu is they will very often need those 3s and 7s because you're not worried as much about the shape as you are just having tiles in that suit. So they naturally stack up on Penchon much more than a regular hand.
I see. Much more likely to be grabbed, yeah. 5, okay. Still a lot of weird stuff here. Yeah, cutting that edge 9 is probably fine.
Yeah, just bad shapes all over. Looking for
3
the
goes
6,
to
7, 8
2.
Sanshu there. 7 pair. This could be Tanyao. Question is, when are you going to cut the Dora? That's the real issue in this hand, because this should be Chun. I don't understand why anything else would be cut. Oh, there goes the Dora.
Just now. We're just gonna get rid of it now.
That was the question. It said we're just getting rid of it now. Forget it.
Don't leave other people the opportunity to pair them up.
We
Do
see the
whatever.
South is not followed here, but that's because the rest of the hand is so bad that pairing the South up and hoping to call is probably your best prayer. 7 pin doesn't do much. We'll go ahead and hold it for now, though.
Aku's very dead, so you might as well just get rid of it.
Now, 8 Mon pairs up. It's Tanyao, but Sanchu's getting harder. This does fill the 7, 8, 9. Is that Ishanten? It's messy, whatever it is. 8 so connects with the 5, 6, 6, 7. Oh, more pairs. That's what it is. It's a backdoor Chitoy.
It's been a very pairy game, I feel like.
Yes. This is not Ishanten. It's a floating 3, a floating 7, and a floating 6 bond. And ends up breaking away the shape with the 8 so cut.
Ugh. Our poor dealer has suffered that fate that I had where you get dealt a hand that looks like a Chinitsu and you just
don't draw anything else.
Stops.
It had a
You're
couple
like,
good draws, and yeah, then it just stopped.
Yeah, you're just like, well. 4, 5, 7, 8, 9.
Well, the plan here is 4, 5, 6 Sanshoku, so that's actually a really good draw. And yeah, locks the 7 ends. The idea here is the 3, 3, 4, 5, where you get the 6, and then the other shapes definitely can use the 4, 5, 6. There's our Dora pair up.
Yeah.
And this moves this hand from irredeemable to meh.
Pushable.
Well, this is the hand that gets you in danger, but with Takahashi is in 4th place, danger isn't really the issue here. You just raw fish. I'd cut the 1, 2 bond, and yeah, there goes the 2.
It's just hard because even with the Pongo South, it's still going to be Mangan for Takahashi, and they need a little more.
Well, Mangan's Sumo's second.
Oh no! What do we do?
Abandon all hope. It's 8, 9 Mon.
We are dealer, so if we do win it anyway.
Oh, wait. That I think is a mistake. It should be the 9 first, because you can use the 5 as your pair and wait on the 7. I think that's a pretty big efficiency mistake. We'll see if it ends up biting her.
That's true. If dealer can just keep it going, they don't need to. I mean, swinging big is good, but even a small hand from the dealer.
Yeah, and cuts the 9 this turn, but there were some other routes. Well, not even north pair. Doesn't even want it.
Pairs are silly.
This allows you to shift away from the 4, 5, 6 Sanshoku, and does. Hand's kind of sad now.
1, 2, 3, 3, 5.
Yeah. The only advantage is your dealer, so you don't necessarily have to have the best weight, but throws it back.
Oh, such unfortunate draws for everyone right now.
Yeah, this is miserable.
Oy.
9 doesn't do much either here. The question is, what's your best threat to Tempai? And I think you just throw it back because you're going to throw the 6 later. There's the Dora,
here's
and you
that
just
Dora.
see immediately slams the hand on the table. That's
we
the
could
I
just-
do something I did not want.
It's Cheetoy time, or at least it's never throwing that Dora time.
Never throwing
Ooh.
that Dora ever. Well, this is actually Ishan 10 with a possible Ipeku if you got 6-0 and Chun.
Yeah, maybe. Okay, we're gonna throw
Sees
6-0
it and
now.
goes with the 6-0. Oh,
Okay.
the backfire. Having cut the 7 a few turns ago. Says, you know what, I just need Tempai payments. I'll just take my efficiency. Furuta doesn't matter here. Having a Yaku really doesn't matter here.
Yeah, we just gotta, at this point, there's no time to be picky. That south can't go, so what are we doing? Right.
Yeah, it's staying with the Cheetoy. Tried to draw the tile and missed it, but okay. Just check with the other players to make sure that there were no fouls committed, that it was the correct tile.
Right.
Oh,
7,
well,
8, 9
there's
fill.
an improvement, but it's not Tempai. Should just be 5-pin here.
Yeah, we should take it because it gives us a chance to get there at the end. And
yeah, we know we're not winning this hand, but you know what? That's fine. Because what we want is dealer to be Tempai. If you're Takahashi here, you desperately hoping dealer's Tempai. Yeah, 3-0 is a hard fold.
oof.
That is an upgrade on the shape. I figure it's the same thing. We'll call anything for K10. Yeah, it goes with the other 3. 2 is a miss.
But
does get Tempai for dealer, which is the important thing. Well, wait, 6-pin Tonki for now.
Right. Because that 2-mon's a little scary.
There just aren't many draws in the wall left, but I'd still throw the 3. I'm going to get rid of the 6 now, figuring the 7 is unlikely to come out at this point. There's the Chi. That's another Tempai.
Yeah, no one wants to miss out. Oh, this is a slightly wider Tempai. Or we could actually get to Tateniu.
Yeah, that's Tateniu with the 1, isn't it? I don't remember what the call was, but I think it was Tateniu.
I believe it would be Tateniu, but apparently we're a little worried about the 1.
Well, there's Tempai. You have to throw the 3 here. You have no choice with the scoreline.
Yeah, and that south is a win. If it comes out.
It's one where if
not.
it comes out, you deserve to lose. You cannot under any circumstances be throwing the south in this situation. Is that Tempai? That is Tempai waiting on the 2, so it goes and takes the 2 instead of the 4 weight. We're going to see 3 players Tempai, a huge swing here.
Yeah, it's meaningful at this position, and we get another run out of our dealer here.
Takahashi greatly closes the gap with 3rd place here.
Yeah, Takahashi up to 18,000. 3rd place now 20,000, 20,009. So it's what, 1,500? No, I'm sorry, it's a 2,500 point gap between Takahashi.
Yeah, it needs 2 Han because you have 2 Honba.
Oh man, that's close.
Now, this will often happen in South 4, especially in a close game, is everyone just fighting and scrapping, but also kind of scared of everyone else.
Yeah.
So, a lot of defense in the mid-hand, and then at the end, oh, wait, no one's getting there. I better just go.
Another hot Dora.
Oh, no, that's a pretty good starting hand. Not too much value, though. That hand, much less so, though.
Yeah, this has a lot of mess in it. I don't like it.
That is bad.
Yeah, that'd be a really depressing hand to open up in such a critical.
Yeah. This is the prayer. Please give me a good hand, and you look at that, and oh.
No, yeah, I was not #not blessed.
Well, that's
Oh
it right
God.
here. Cut a Haku, draw another Haku. It would be dead now though, so we'll just let the zip tile. A few pairs here with this hand, but probably got the 9 so 9 so later. For Tanya, the 5 fills
2,
it
3,
nicely.
5,
2, 3, 4,
6.
5, 6. 3 so
Ooh.
completes the shape in Sozu. Can keep a floating 6, but we'll throw it
No,
back.
Ishanten.
Possible 2, 3, 4 Sanshoku in the hand. I have an 8 so pair up, so 3 pairs in that hand. 3 so doesn't really do much, but I said the 9 so would come out, and there it does. 9
Third
mon
9-mon.
Onko, that is.
Well, now we have
Ew.
two
Hoping
shapes to
for the
break
4,
down.
5,
Yeah.
6 Sanshoku, cutting the 2 pin
3,
there.
4. Okay, look at that. 2, 3, 4
Yeah.
Sanshoku very alive. Ishanten on that. We got our Pinfu shape pretty much locked in.
I see this hand and I just want to go Tanya with it. The problem
Yeah.
is, this is Takahashi who needs more than Tanya.
Yeah, this is just unfortunate for poor Takahashi.
One pin doesn't do anything.
4, 5, 6.
5 pin. Well, there's your Tempai.
There we go. There's our reach.
Riichi Pinfu. Nothing fancy. If you don't need anything fancy, your dealer, and it's in all last. We get to first place with this.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right,
Ishanten
here
there
too.
as well. Oh, just Sumo. Riichi Patsumo Pinfu. No
Nothing on the
Ura,
flip.
but that's going to be a big lead open up for Meraki. 7,800 plus the Riichi stick, back and the 2 Homba.
88 plus 6, 94. Ugh. Great from Reki. Oh, so disappointing. I feel like everyone else at that table's got to just be like, oh no, I thought I had a shot at this. And now it's been pulled away, I think, because making up this gap in one hand is going to be rough.
Yeah, you have one player who's still within Mangatsumo range because there are 3 Homba and it's still less than 10,000. But Ueda and Takahashi here are just fighting for at best second, honestly, unless you just buy Mon out of nowhere.
Ueda, like, direct hit Hanemon on Mareki is like Ueda's chance to grab first, which is not impossible, but pretty specific. And I think Takahashi's real far out. It's going to be much harder for Takahashi.
Yeah, this looks like a Pinfu does have a Dora here, but Penchon, Kanchan, you just get rid of some of the honors and continue playing it. This is a decision of, do I want the Penchon? The answer is no, but do I want the loose single honors even less?
So.
Yes.
A lot to clean
kind of
up
a
here.
Pinfu Tanya hand. Ugh, a 3, 5, 7, 9. Not my favorite shape. The 1 connects over with that 1, 2, 3, so the hand's moving forward. The 6 pairs up, has the 3, 4 as well in Manzu, so maybe a move towards Tanya later. Ugh.
Oh, God.
Yuck.
Every shape is ugly.
Well, you have that 3, 5, 7, 9 shape and draw another 5, so it just gets worse and worse. Now that hand can actually use a 5 mod quite nicely. And there would be Onko pair with the 8, but it's actually a 6, 7, 8, 8, 8. So you may just use the 8 as a pair and have the 6, 7, 8. Well, which terrible shape do you want? Not that one.
Ugh. Ugh.
And does end up cutting the pension here. One pin doesn't do anything, but still has these honors to get rid of, so we'll do that. South doesn't do anything, but will be held for a little bit, just as some sort of Yaku option. It doesn't really feel like we are still only in South round.
Ooh, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we got a 5 that fits in nicely.
And cuts the 1 here. 1's so pair up. There's some backdoor Shitoitsu, but just the hand's not moving in any positive direction.
No.
At the overlap on the 1, so if you cut the west here, that'll be the plan.
Another Dora. You can get towards
just go Tanya with this, yeah.
2, 3, 4,
6
5,
fills
6.
that shape in nicely. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Couple 6s that extend the shape with a 2, 3, 5, 6, 6, so.
There's the 2, 3,
3
4.
is the perfect fill.
Yeah, that's beautiful. All right. We're spinning straw into gold here.
Well, that's the thing about Kanchans, is most of the time they want to fill, but man, when they fill, it feels good.
2, 3, 4.
That is not Tempai. This is a what floater do you want hand.
I mean, the
Keeping the
problem
4
is,
gives the Peiko, but it makes the 5 a ridiculously wide.
are we really going to want to throw a Dora also? Like,
No, well, it has to be either the 3 so or the 4 mon, and throws the 4
yeah.
mon. I will throw the Dora if we get Tempai with a good weight and value, but other than that, no. South's a miss. So now I have try number 2. And is that a 9 mon? It is. Back it goes.
Yeah, not helpful.
No matter how you spin the tile, it's still a 9 mon. It doesn't really fit. Haku doesn't do much. Can get thrown back. Eicho doesn't really fit with the 5-6-6. Well, there's your Tempai.
4.
You just throw the door out. You Riichi every time here.
Reach, Pin, Futanyo, Dora, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yep, 2-5 so. And again, Mongon Sumo is first place.
Yeah, so if you sumo that, you did it.
In fact, is Mongon Roan? No, it's not quite. It'd be really close, though. Well, there's Tempai. You have to chase.
We chase? Do we chase?
You have to chase.
All right.
We'll Dama.
No, we Dama. We Dama. Okay.
This is I really want to play this hand, but I know I shouldn't.
Yeah.
9 pin. It is by the Dora.
Right by the Dora, but it's willing
Dora
to play.
was the Riichi tile, so the 9's usually not that bad. The only time he deals it in is if it's a shape very similar to the one we have, but not this exact one. I am surprised by the Dama on this.
It's a little bit odd, but
like if it's first place, it makes a lot of sense. But this is a hand that this is fourth place. The Dama just doesn't help.
yeah, the chase is sumo.
Oh, just sumo. Riichi, sumo, Pinfu, Tanya, Dora. No Ura, but that's Mongon. That's going to be the comeback.
That is
Yuzukoshi takes first place off of that.
Oof, oof. Exciting. Yep, bringing her up to 37-4, and Mareki down to 33-5. So once again, we have a kind of top half, bottom half game. Yuzukoshi finishing first, Mareki second. We had a third at 15-8, and Takahashi fourth at a number that just went away.
Yeah, the table felt loose coming in there, rest relaxing. Yuzukoshi there in first, Mareki in second, 13.5. Wait, a little disappointed there with minus 24, and Takahashi there at minus 36.7.
Right, very.
Oh, it felt like a big scramble for most of that Hanshan, and then just blew open there towards the end. Everyone fighting, scrapping for those Renshan, and then the Ipatsumo, and then that big sumo there in the end.
Yeah, the early games felt, as you mentioned, felt a little light, and then the big hits started as soon as we got to the end.
Now save those big hands for last. Definitely some excitement there towards the end. And with that, do we have any closing thoughts? Yeah, we should definitely take a look at the standings for these teams, of course. The overall for today, and then the overall score for the teams. All right, well, We have Manmaru House at 281.2. This is what started today. Pretty big lead.
Wonderful Days Chiba's at 120. Ikkyu's just at 9. Just precisely 9. I love it.
Yeah, just single digits there. And you see today, Ikkyu, the big winner with a 77.2. Wonderful Days Chiba's a pretty good second at 46. Manmaru House, though, with looks like 2 fourths and that escaped second place. It could have been even worse. But Otsuki in that second game had that big win on the end there to get second place out of it.
Yeah, a little bit of a rough day.
Yeah, and Gotanda next there with the minus 41.9.
Well, now Ikkyu's not at just 9. They're up to 86.2.
Well,
Look at
so
that.
the result is this group got really close all of a sudden.
Yeah, much closer together, although poor Gotanda next is still a little bit
Yeah,
down in the
this
dumps.
is when you say we're not getting out of this group. you don't want to say we're doomed, but no, you're doomed.
It would take a lot. It would take a lot. Let's keep my mild optimism.
I do like Manmaru House. We're definitely 200. We have 200 at home. And Wonder Days Chiba there certainly within a game, and Ikkyu with a good session could definitely be right back in this.
Absolutely.
Alrighty then, bunch of actually wrapped up, and the next time you see us will be the day after Christmas. So if you had a big meal, did all that family stuff, or like, you know what I want afterwards, especially if I had to do returns and such, well, you'll be able to listen to Mahjong on Thursday the 26th.
Thursday the 26th. I gotta check my own time Thursday the 26th. Because I want to watch.
Alright then, if there isn't anything else, this is the obligatory plugs for if you liked what we're doing, go ahead and hit the like button. If you haven't subbed, please sub. We're definitely trying to hit that 500 mark. And other than that, for Shiral, Tateniu, Dave, this is Corak, along of course with Jenn, who you see there in the chat, for the Yukan Fuji Cup broadcasting team, wishing you a good night.
Thanks so much for joining us.